Then
This
you have the shooting in
Charlottesville.
Virginia.
Hmm.
Right. So they have been dealing with this sort of thing way more than they really should have. And actually, as a country, we're dealing with this kind of thing way too often. But yet, this happens again. You had the shooting at the nightclub that I referenced, the Club Q, and that took place a few days ago. That was actually over the weekend. So here we are, yet another mass shooting in the country. This one a little bit different. This wasn't uh, it wasn't random. It does appear, and this is according to reporting at the moment, it does appear this person knew the people that he went after, or at least some of the people he went after. But again, we keep doing this, and it
Hmm.
just seems like a never ending cycle.
Yeah, and I don't know if we talk about the 24-hour news cycle and also with social media, with cable, everything. We're so connected to one another that we hear about everything going on in the other communities. However, when you have a mass shooting like this, I don't remember them being stacked on top of each other. They just shooting after shooting, whether it was at the school here just down the street. We talked about the shooting at UVA, at the Q Club, and the people who died there. And now we have Walmart. It's difficult to keep them straight. What's what's interesting with the past couple of shootings, with the shooting from the former football player at the University of Virginia, there's that connection there,
Right.
that he went after players of the football team who were on the school bus. Here, what we understand so far is that this was a Walmart employee, disgruntled employee, who went into the break room and shot people there. And we're dealing with increased levels of anxiety, increased levels of stress, depression, mental illness. And when you couple that with the ready availability of guns and the ease with which they can be acquired in this country. And I understand, I'm not saying that we should confiscate guns. We're not Sweden. I understand that. We're not Finland, whatever. Our country is vast and diverse, and we have a Second Amendment. However, the gun culture is very, very strong. Guns are very readily available. Uh, High capacity weapons are easily obtained. And when you couple that with this rise in mental illness, anxiety, increasingly isolated members of society, because that's something you also see as a pattern among these shooters, whether it's a disgruntled employee or a troubled, young man, because they're so often troubled young men. They're isolated, they're pulled away from family, friends, any type of stabilizing institution. You think, okay, is is the threshold for committing this type of violence lowering with every mass shooting? The way someone put it,
You mean what actually sets it off?
what sets it off, the way someone, I think it was Malcolm Gladwell in the New Yorker actually, who said, he goes, it's not that there are more people willing to commit the mass shooting, it's that the bar for what sets them off is lower and lower with every event. Does that make sense? Before, like 20 years ago, maybe this guy wouldn't have done this.
Well, I think the availability of weapons has gotten more prevalent than it was. We have more guns in the country than people.
Mhm.
That's a really that's strange that it's like that. And I'm not personally a gun owner. I'm not totally opposed to owning one. Maybe I will own one at some point. I think we have too much of a gun culture here, and we rely on it too much. And I know there's going to be pushback against that, but it's for me, it shouldn't be part of our identity.
Mhm.
And we're going to have them. We're never going to get rid of all of them. It's always going to be a part of our society, but it's probably too big of a part. And I think they're just too available for certain people. They're too available to people who don't have any business with them, whether they get them legally or not. And I know there's always that, well, these guns are stolen, or if they don't buy it legally, they're just going to get it off the streets, or they're going to get it somewhere else. Well, those guns are legal at some point somewhere. So shouldn't there be some kind of punishment for people who lose track of their weapons, or who buy them from somewhere and then they sell them somewhere else to a person who then sells it to another person? These sorts of things should be kept track of. It shouldn't just be a free for all. But in some states, it is very easy to do that. And then you end up having these guns in the possession of people who have absolutely no business with these weapons. The shooter down the street at CVPA had no business with that firearm.
So when we look at the discussion about mass shootings, this you remember the phrase. I remember this phrase as a kid and I didn't know what it was, but the phrase like going postal.
Yeah,
Because
that was like an early 90s. It came about in the early 90s.
and that came about because there were multiple shootings at post
At
offices.
post offices. Yeah, we're talking about disgruntled employees.
Yeah.
And it became a joke. I mean, it was a headline. I'm going to go postal, and people used to make light of it because it seemed to happen at a post office. And one of the reasons for it,
Mhm.
the psychology behind it was that there's something very stressful about working in a post office. And it's just like it's constant and it's never ending, and even Seinfeld made a joke about it, or the show Seinfeld made a joke
Well,
about it. But
that was
yeah,
going to be my question
yeah,
then. When those shootings happened before, was the pushback this is kind of a one-off, this is unique to this job and it's stressful and sometimes people break? Was it what was this person doing with a gun because this person was psychologically unstable? When did we start adding in the conversation of someone who is mentally unfit to possess a firearm having a firearm?
that's more recent, because the discussion then was he just snapped.
Yeah.
Like a person just snapped and went back to the post office and did it. There was a postal shooting in 1970. There were a couple in 1986, and then there was one in 89. And then over the course of like 3 years, there were multiple. And that's when people started talking about going postal. But I think then it was just a crazy coworker, or at least that's how they were labeled. This person was insane
Right.
and did something. So it became a joke. But now we're having the real conversation about should certain people, have access to weapons. We got the news coming up, and if your thoughts on these or thoughts you want to give us, do so. 314-436-7900. You're listening to the show on KMOX.
Changing the weather.
Fall
Changing the weather.
weather.
Something's happening here.
Temps turning chillier. Days getting shorter.
Changing the weather.
We'll help you weather the changes. And when severe weather lands, the Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center will be there for you. The weather, we've got it covered. On St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
KMOX News Time is 10:29. Donate a car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
So delicious in every bite. Dad's cookies, they taste so right.
Dad's cookies go mighty fast this time of year, so stock up next time you're shopping. And for an easy and unique gift for out-of-town family and friends, give them the sweet taste of a St. Louis tradition by ordering at dadscookies.com.
The taste made just for you.
And in stores everywhere.
Dad's cookies.
dadscookies.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Now your Bite This Network traffic report. It looks like every vehicle in the country is currently headed to Hardee's for a saucy A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99. You heard that right. Every single car, truck, and annoying electric scooter thing all heading to Hardee's. But don't take a detour. Hit the brakes on your hunger with a Charbroil Double Deal. Bite into the new A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99, only at Hardee's. Tax not included, available for limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price may vary. A1 is a registered trademark of Kraft Foods used with permission.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 48 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News. Authorities and witnesses say a Walmart manager opened fire on fellow employees in the break room of a Virginia store, killing 6 people. It was the country's second high-profile mass shooting in 4 days. Police in Chesapeake say the gunman, who apparently shot himself, was dead when they found him. There was no clear motive for the shooting, which also put 4 people in the hospital. The store was busy just before the attack Tuesday night as shoppers stocked up ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. A punishing new barrage of Russian strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure has caused power outages across large parts of the country, as well as neighboring Moldova, piling more damage onto Ukraine's already battered power network and adding to the misery for civilians as winter begins. Multiple regions reported attacks in quick succession Wednesday, and Ukraine's energy ministry said that the vast majority of electricity consumers were cut off. Officials in Kyiv said 3 people were killed, 9 wounded in the capital after a Russian strike hit a 2-story building. Russia has been pounding the power grid and other facilities with missiles and exploding drones for weeks. Travel figures this Thanksgiving could be the highest since the pandemic began, with millions taking trips despite high gas prices and travel costs. Today, traditionally the busiest travel day of the holiday weekend, these flyers at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport said,
Stress.
Just tiring.
It's hectic.
Let's see what travel is like in our area. We do have a couple of problems. One of those just popped up. It's a crash northbound 55 on the ramp to Lindbergh. So be prepared to stop there as crews respond to that. Also a stalled vehicle on eastbound 44 before you get to 55. It's on the right-hand shoulder. That's a squeeze there. So be careful as you pass through that area. Checking the forecast for today. It's going to be chilly to start, and then it's going to warm up the rest of the day. We're going to get about 10 degrees hotter, a high near 64 today. Clouds tonight, some rain possible as well with an overnight low of 45. And then tomorrow, cloudy, damp, and chilly with some light rain or drizzle on a few occasions, a high of 52. Right now, we have 54 degrees in Florissant, 53 in St. Peters, 48 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
This is Jimmy Conrad, one-third of In Soccer We Trust, a CBS Sports Network podcast covering every angle of the U.S. men's national team's return to the World Cup stage. The Stars and Stripes lock horns with Wales, England, and Iran later this month. In Soccer We Trust will be there for every step of the way before, during, and after the tournament, including match previews and recaps, breaking news, roster breakdowns, special guests, and much more. In Soccer We Trust is all in for the World Cup, and we want you to come along for the ride.
Listen to In Soccer We Trust on the Odyssey app and anywhere else you find your podcasts.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
What really matters to you? At Archwell Health, that's what matters to us. When Linda told her doctor about the trip her family planned for her 70th birthday, our team worked together to improve her mobility. Then there's Shirley, who wanted to lose a little weight. She and her doctor chose an Archwell Health exercise class, and her dietitian also had a few ideas. We're here to help you live your life to the fullest, because you are more than a patient. Join today at archwellhealth.com/livewell.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get ready for men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take on Paul Quinn. Hear the game here. Pre-game 6:47, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
Welcome back. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores on the show. Now, a big topic of conversation on this show, and I think around town, has been public safety in the city of St. Louis. Well, city officials have begun work on a plan to help make the streets of St. Louis a bit safer. This involves spending more than $40 million in federal pandemic aid. This will help slow down traffic, cut down on injuries, fatalities. We know that pedestrians have been getting hit. How do we make the city streets safer? Well, a bill was passed by the Board of Aldermen late last week. It was brought by the office of Mayor Tasharo Jones, and a sponsor of the proposal, Alderman Brandon Bosley of Hyde Park, and he joins us now to talk more about this plan to make the streets of St. Louis safer. Alderman Bosley, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. How are you today?
We are doing well.
We are doing well, and we taking a look at this bill. I mean, obviously, we're looking for some details here, but as Amy said, safety is maybe the number one concern on the minds of people who live in the city of St. Louis. How will this bill help?
Oh, well, one of the most important things, of course, we know is being able to get from point A to point B in the city to be able to enjoy all the great things that we have. And a lot of things happen on our streets as far as, safety is concerned. We have a lot of course, drive-bys, reckless driving, and pedestrians being hit, which says that, even in your own neighborhood, once you leave there, if it is safe, traveling from your neighborhood to a grocery store, to a respective place you need to get back home to where you can be safely, where you can be safe, could be a challenge. So, this proposes $40 million in infrastructure upgrades in streets that we have done traffic calming studies on and have looked at and listened to the residents and have had town halls with residents, and with the different studies that have taken place thus far have shown us that we could have a significant increase in traffic accidents and pedestrian accidents, fatalities also along these corridors that would significantly decrease the amount of traffic problems that we have as well.
Yeah, and it's a really personal conversation. I have a friend who was a victim of a hit and run on Grand. He lived but dealt with tons of injuries, spent a long time in hospitals, stuck in bed just because of the extent of his injuries. And so I think it does hit on a very personal level. When we know that people are driving through the city too fast, that they're not paying attention to their surroundings, it can feel like there's lawlessness. At the same time, how do you cut down on that? How do you get people to pay attention? How do you get them to slow down?
So a lot of it has to do with number one, aesthetics. We have the bill also addresses some of the concerns that we have with 911 dispatching and police availability. There are a lot of things that put folks in a particular mindset that makes them think that they can treat the city streets the way that they want. For, instance, our posted average speed limit is 35 and the majority of people are going 48. Right. So, one of the things we definitely have to do at some point in time is make sure we have traffic enforcement that goes along with our initiative to invest in the actual streets themselves. But, as far as having bump outs, maybe putting some dividers down, turnaround, roundabouts, really diving into what it takes, particularly after we do these studies, to at least try to implement a plan where folks can see that there's a different aesthetic there, that has been put there in the middle of the street. Not in the middle of the street, but some structure that have been put there. So when you drive down the street, you treat it different. For instance, for Natural Bridge, that entire corridor has had 0 fatalities since, I believe, 2020, since the MoDOT upgrades that were put in from the state, I believe, in 2019. So we've seen a significant decrease just from making significant investment just along that corridor.
Do you have the numbers off the top of your head of just how significant of a change there's been since that construction?
Well, folks know how, unfortunately, how many individuals are, they really don't know, but people know how dangerous streets are on Goodfellow from Shreve to Salisbury, for instance. We've had, once again, 0 fatalities from 2021 to present, also from Goodfellow, where there has been multiple incidents of fatalities, and I'll pull up the numbers here.
I know that there are, at least in the bill, there is a list of 26 hotspot intersections for fatality and injury crashes. As you mentioned, that you focus on those hotspots where you're seeing the most bicyclists and pedestrian injuries, like South Grand Boulevard and Forest Park Parkway, North Grand Boulevard and Natural Bridge Avenue, and Kings Highway and Delmar, among some of the top areas.
Right, absolutely. You got the River de Pere, we got Grabois to Chippewa, Arsenal to Magnolia, and these are places that we have completed studies on, where we know for sure that we've had multiple fatalities and incidents that we're looking to curb.
Mm-hmm. And I know the bill also includes $15 million to build a new 911 dispatch center. That has been a huge deal in the city of St. Louis. When someone calls 911, they're put on hold for minutes at a time, which can be devastating when you need help, when you're calling that emergency number. Do you know how many dispatchers this new center will be able to accommodate?
Well, all of them. That is the goal. We're short 39 dispatchers right now, and they're working out of 3 different locations. So, with us being short, it definitely would make sense to consolidate our resources, to have everybody in one room and being able to communicate also with EMS and the firefighters in one location when we do have an issue, especially when we have an influx of calls. Right now, the police can sometimes be waiting for, just to get or receive a call because they already have 4 or 5 on the computer waiting for them to go and respond to. So with that, you have people waiting for emergency service. They can, can be a crash and folks could wait for 10 or 15 minutes just to get that call pushed out to an officer because he's on so many different calls. But them being able to have some sort of a conversation and organize on which calls they should throw out first because they all are in the same room, in the same vicinity, on that same facility. It gives us a much better idea, not better idea, a much better chance of being able to save lives. And those individuals who need immediate emergency service, will be able to dispatch better while we're working on filling our dispatcher positions.
Once this proposal, first of all, how close is the proposal from actual implementation? And once that happens, how quickly do you expect to see some positive results?
With the traffic calming, I believe immediately we'll be able to start working on the completed studies because the funding is already there. We'll just have to put it out for bid and start working on, actually implementing what already has been discovered that we need to do to make that particular change on that street. As far as the actual facility goes, PSAP, that should go up and be in operation come 2025, 26. We're looking to have the center up and going. It has to go through a process, a few phases. One of the phases it's going through now, which is that the process of design work and making sure that the intent and what it is that we're trying to do can work with the building layout.
I know. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know that in the past year or two, in order to cut back on some of the drag racing, the speeding that was going down in the city, there were jersey barriers or cement barriers put in the street. Does the plan involve measures like that? Are you hoping to avoid adding more barriers on the streets?
Definitely hoping to avoid more barriers on the street. We're looking at doing curb outs, bump outs, of course, more speed bumps, more striping, putting out more signs that are illuminated. We really want to ensure that it aesthetically pleases our residents as well and our visitors within our city. We know those concrete blocks can sometimes be very ugly and once again, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So the thought is to not put a Band-Aid on this and do it the right way because we have the amount of funds to get it done the right way. And the mayor's office, this administration, I believe, is taking the right approach and ensuring that all the studies that previously have been done and the ones that we're looking at doing now can work with the data that we've accumulated through all these years. And, I believe that we're going to make a major impact pretty quickly.
And that's really the challenge, isn't it? Because we've seen studies, they've been done, data's being collected, and now it's implementing it. It's now using that data to make improvements. I think what people want to know is that we're getting closer to improvements happening.
Absolutely. And we are. And the fact that we already have the money in the bank, that's something we don't have to go out and try to find. The federal government has done, I think, a great job in looking at how important it is to improve the infrastructure here in the city. So, with that, we're not really looking necessarily at what we would been doing 5 or 10 years ago, is doing as many more studies as we can. We're looking at implementing the process now and quickly doing it. If we can save a few lives, before this summer, then I think we're doing our city a great service, which I think we'll see.
Alderman Brandon Bosley, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
That is Brandon Bosley. You can follow him on Twitter at Brandon F. Bosley. And yeah, I mean, we know what the issues are. We know what the issues in the city are. And some of them appear to be very far from fixed.
Mhm.
And it seems like an uphill journey to get some of these issues fixed. But I think all people really need is that there's some tangible improvement
Oh, I think
and that
that's
it happens relatively quickly.
I think that's huge. You know, we know about the violent crime. We know about the car break-ins and the homicide numbers, and that needs to be fixed. And that's a big process. That's a long process. But I think what makes all of that even worse, which compounds that feeling of lawlessness, is the speeding through the streets, feeling like I'm not even safe walking to go to lunch or walking to go get coffee. I have to be on my guard, or I'm running downtown, walking from my loft or my apartment. And if you don't feel safe doing that, I think it does compound all of the issues, which then becomes cyclical. If there's this sense of lawlessness, that people don't care, that you can get away with anything, that does burgeon into a bigger problem. So I'm excited that to see some improvement as far as the city streets go, so that people feel safe going to Ted Drew's. I mean, you have to have that. You absolutely have to feel safe going to Enterprise, going to Busch Stadium, going to Ted Drew's, knowing that cars aren't going to be flying all over the place and just feeling lawless.
Amy Marks, Core's Chris Ranji, you're listening to the show. We're going to tell you what's next, coming up next, or what's trending next on KMOX.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want? I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever, only at bartesian.com.
Do you have a plumber you can call on at any time of the day or night when you're having an emergency with your plumbing system, whether it's residential or commercial? Beast Plumbing is who you should have in your contacts. I'll give you that information in just a moment. This is Bo Matthews to let you know about the November deal that's going on at Beast Plumbing. If you have a need for a garbage disposal, they have $25 off the Badger 333 or $50 off the Evo Pro 1100 XL. That's the one I would go with personally. But this is the opportunity you don't want to pass up. Matter of fact, for the holidays, Beast Plumbing is putting out a double deal. The garbage disposal deal, plus they have $75 off all water heaters. So when you have a need for either one of those things or beyond, when it comes to plumbing, maybe you've got a commode you got to get fixed before the family comes over for the holidays, make sure you call Beast Plumbing. Here's their number. It's 314-500-LEAK. That's 314-500-LEAK. Online, it's BEISplumbing.com. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
This is Debbie Monterey with a real estate update and some insight for my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria told me that sitting on the sidelines may not be the best strategy moving forward in this continually shifting market. Homes aren't selling as quickly, and in most cases, price reductions are becoming pretty common. Gloria also said that earlier this year, with low inventory, sellers didn't need a strategy to sell homes because homes were listed and sold immediately. Now more than ever, it's crucial to have a proven strategy to get your home sold, and that's why I strongly suggest you call local real estate expert Gloria Liu before you list your home to get the absolute most money. Gloria is so confident that she will sell your home, she'll guarantee in writing upfront to sell it at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she'll buy your home herself. Learn more by calling Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Furnish hope right here in St. Louis. Donate your unneeded furniture and household goods to Home Sweet Home. Visit www.homesweethomestl.org to learn more.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Two of those things are true.
Oh,
More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris.
well, there's not more Kevin.
There's less Kevin. There's no Kevin.
We've somehow taken the Kevin all the way down to 0.
We have.
There's 0 Kevin.
And what did we just notice here?
It's a lot quieter during the breaks.
It is 100%
Oh
quieter.
my God, I get a break. I get a mental break. I get a voice break. It's so good.
Kevin, we love you. Sorry, I ruined the trending open,
You
but
did?
all I did was all I could hear was more Kevin.
No, Kevin. Trending, sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. Amy, what do you got?
You know what's trending, Ranj? Mike White.
Mike White?
Mike White. Who's Mike White? The Jets quarterback.
Yes, that's right.
He is the first quarterback, and there's a little asterisk in the modern era since 1950, but the first quarterback to notch 400 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns in his first career start.
Well, do you know the reason he's trending right now?
I thought it was because of that.
Well, it's not just because of that. I believe he's going to be starting this weekend.
Okay.
And the reason this is significant is because Zach Wilson is one of the big quarterbacks from this one particular draft class with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, who is a god. And Fields, by the way, happens to be the best of the whole class.
Okay.
Whatever. No big deal. But they have benched Wilson. They have benched him, it's kind of a remarkable situation because this guy's supposed to be their future.
Right.
And they're winning. They've been winning, and he's 5-2, and they're benching him, which
So
is crazy.
why are they benching him?
He's not that good.
Oh.
Ain't that good.
No.
Yeah, so that really sucks for him.
Well, all I know is Mike White was trending, and I'm like, I got to check out this guy, this Mike.
Hey, this guy, Mike.
Way to go, Mike.
I don't know about this guy, Mike.
I like that he's the Jets quarterback, though. I like saying, Mike, yeah, he's quarterback in the Jets. He's pretty good. Good job, Mike.
You're really good at those.
Thanks.
I'll tell you what else is trending.
Yeah.
Howard Stern is trending. I really enjoy Stern. I think he's the show that he used to do in the 90s and the 80s where he was the shock jock kind of guy. He's grown up a lot since then, or developed is probably a better word to use. Fantastic interviewer.
Yes.
And one of the reasons he is so good, I think, well, there are a few of them. One, he's Howard Stern. So there's a little bit of clout there. So when you're getting interviewed by Howard Stern, you tend to open up. 2, he gets guests for a very long time. And when you have a guest for an hour, they tend to open up. And he's just very good at talking to people. Well, he has an interview coming out on HBO, which will be on Sunday, with Bruce Springsteen. And for the people who have seen it so far, and I again, we talked about Bruce last week because of the story that he told on the Graham Norton show about his ties with a family here in St. Louis from when he was on tour in the 80s. And he just happened to be at this movie by himself in Brentwood. And a young guy said, hey, you want to come to my house after? And Bruce said, okay.
Meet my mom?
Yeah, his mom made eggs for Bruce Springsteen. And anyway, so I do appreciate him as a talent. His music isn't my favorite, but I get it. I get why people do like him. Anyway, there's this, from people who have seen it so far, and it's not released until Sunday, an excellent interview between Stern and Bruce Springsteen, which will take place on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it might come as a shock that Howard Stern, I mean, his whole shtick is it's not my cup of tea, but when he's gotten less weird because the shock jock thing you're not going to shock anybody anymore. It doesn't work anymore. I mean, you can see anything, hear anything at any time, but he is the consummate interviewer, and you do hear stories from the biggest celebrities that you do not hear anywhere else.
Right.
So I really appreciate that. The one thing is, though, the worst part of the Christmas season, and the Christmas season is my favorite season, the worst part of it is Bruce Springsteen's version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town makes me want to just I don't know, cry, throw my head down and cry.
You know what? I'm okay with it.
Okay, this is also trending. Japan is trending. Why, you ask? Because Japan beat Germany 2-1 in their World Cup match today. What do you have against the Germans?
What? One of my least favorite Germans is in this room.
Is it because
I'm kidding. I love you.
Is it because I'm the worst?
Oh, you are. That's how I know you're German, because you're the worst. Yeah. So that's a pretty big beat, isn't it? That's a pretty big loss.
Yeah, there have been some upsets. I know we're going to talk to Bill McDermott later.
Yes.
Because Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia in one of the biggest upsets in the history of the World Cup.
And there's another big upset coming up this week on Friday.
When the U.S. beats England?
You damn right.
That's right.
We'll talk to Todd Schneider from Skyview Partners. There's a development happening outside the city. It's going to be cool. We'll tell you about that when we come back after the news on KMOX.
Dr. Travis Stork here to tell you about a great pain reliever called Salon Pass Pain Relieving Patches. Salon Pass is pain medicine in a patch. You stick it right on sore muscles for up to 8 hours. Clinical research has shown that people that used Salon Pass reported less pain with improvement in mood, sleep, and the ability to work. Safe, effective relief is one peel and place away. Salon Pass, it's good medicine.
I'm Tamron Hall. Why give your family just ordinary eggs when they can enjoy the best? Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs. With 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Procrastination. We've all been there. But have you been dragging your feet when it comes to creating your retirement plan? I've heard it all from, I have time before I need to make a decision, or I'll eliminate debt first and then get ready for retirement. I've seen far too many people waste valuable time for their retirement planning, and I don't want you to be one of them. Hi, I'm Ken Heisey with Heisey Advisory Group. I'm on a mission to help people recognize the potential destructive impact procrastination can have on their retirement plan. Don't procrastinate. Call us today at 314-328-4400 to ensure you get on the right path toward your retirement dream. That's 314-328-4400, 314-328-4400.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
Your home of the Chiefs. This is KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
KMOX and Gateway Arch Park Foundation is thrilled to bring back Winterfest, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology. Now through January 1st on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Celebrate the magic of the season in downtown St. Louis. Enjoy ice skating, igloos, s'mores, holiday lights and music, a winter market, a New Year's Eve fireworks show, and so much more. All in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. More details at KMOX.com/events.
Help some truly amazing kids face the countless challenges that come with having a complex medical condition, illness, or injury. Donate to Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital at rankinjordan.org today.
Becco's new dishwashers use 1/3 the energy and half the water of U.S. standards for dishwashers. And from now until December 31st, you can save up to $200 in gift card rebates on eligible models. Visit Becco.com for more details. That's Becco.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a sunny sky, 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. A Walmart manager at the Chesapeake, Virginia store opened fire last night just before closing, leaving 6 people dead and 4 injured.
Chesapeake Police Chief Mark Selesky says when officers entered Walmart, they found a mass shooting scene.
The suspect is dead from what we believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Selesky says the shooter used a pistol and confirms he is an employee, while co-workers report he was a manager.
The investigation is still ongoing, so there's no clear motive at this time.
Walmart employee Brianna Tyler tells ABC's Good Morning America. Workers had gathered in the store's break room. I looked up. My manager just opened the door and he just opened fire. He didn't say a word. He didn't say anything at all. I'm Julie Walker.
We now know who the next attorney general will be for Missouri. Governor Mike Parson chooses his own general counsel, Andrew Bailey.
With Andrew's talented legal mind on our team, we've accomplished a lot for the people of Missouri. We fought for the unborn and ended elective abortions in Missouri. We've strengthened the Second Amendment protections, supported law enforcement at every turn.
Bailey worked as the general counsel for the Missouri Department of Corrections before his stint in the governor's office. He replaces Eric Schmidt after Schmidt won his U.S. Senate race. An agreement is reached to divide the Rams settlement money totaling $519 million. The city and the county, along with the Regional Sports Authority, reached agreement. The city will get $250 million. The county takes away $169 million, and the RSA has $70 million. County Councilman Tim Fitch.
Well, surprised it took about a year to get this done, and much of that money sat in the bank without accruing interest until very recently, which I'd love to know how many millions of dollars that cost the taxpayers.
But he is pleased with the county's share. The city will get an additional $30 million to spend on the convention center expansion. Otherwise, that amount would also go to the RSA. Ukraine shut down nuclear plants today as Russian attacks intensified. CBS News correspondent Elaine Cobb.
Air raid sirens blared across much of Ukraine as Russia rained down missiles on numerous targets. There were power blackouts across the country, with entire cities plunged into darkness. The blackouts forced 3 nuclear plants in the south and west to suspend operations.
Today's strike followed an overnight rocket attack on a maternity hospital in the southern region in which a newborn baby was killed. The First Med Bank and Trust business desks getting ready for some big bargains on Black Friday.
For some, it's a sport.
My wife and I came up with this tradition a few years ago, and it sort of turned into like a date night type thing where we will stay out all night trying to get the best Black Friday deals.
And while experts say it is a great time to nab a deal on things like headphones, TVs, clothing, and some appliances, a lot of people have become pretty comfy, not having to leave the house and brave the crowds.
I'd rather do online. I just think it's easier rather than having to search for stuff.
And this year, inflation also plays a big role. Many people suggesting they're cutting back and not buying as many gifts as usual. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
And the Dow from Stifel is down 33 points to 34,064. And we've got a major closure of 70 west at Jennings Station. 70 going west at Jennings Station is completely closed because of an accident in that area. Also, traffic-wise, we've got some construction on Mugie Road at 94. We've got a crash 170 north at Olive. The 2 left lanes are closed. Crash 55 north at Lindbergh. The 2 left lanes are closed. Stall 70 west past Bermuda on the right shoulder. Stall 44 east before 55 on the right shoulder.
It's going to be a nice mild afternoon. Highs up to 60 to 64. Sun, some clouds mixing in. Showers then later tonight into tomorrow. It's chillier and damp tomorrow, the high 52. Sun breaks out on Friday, high 53. Chilly rain on Saturday, low 50s. And then sunny breaks, low 50s Sunday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Chances are, if a lot of people depend on you, your family, maybe even employees, life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor. Go to PennMutual.com/STL. Sunny, 58 in St. Peters, 55 in downtown St. Louis, 56 in Florissant. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Amy Marks chorus Chris Ranji on the show on KMOX. It is the 11 o'clock hour, and we're glad to have you with us today until 2 o'clock. It is the day before Thanksgiving, did you know? Which means that there's going to be a lot of, for people, a lot of consternation about the day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Things they want there at their Thanksgiving gathering, things they do not want at their Thanksgiving gathering.
Food and otherwise.
Whatever.
Could be people.
Could be your uncle.
Yeah.
I like my uncle. I want him at Thanksgiving. He can cook.
I like my Uncle Keith, too.
What about the rest?
It's like he's the only uncle.
So
he was the first one that came to mind.
314-436-7900 if you want to text us. And tell us what you want, what you don't want at your Thanksgiving. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, 944-1120. Another development is coming to the area. We always talk about building up St. Louis, building up the St. Louis area. And one way to do that is to actually build things. Todd Schneider, an old friend from Skyview Partners, is joining us this morning on KMOX. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing okay. So before we get started on the new development that's coming, what is one thing you do not want at Thanksgiving and one thing that you absolutely do?
Well, I can't stand mushrooms, so I don't want mushrooms on the table.
Mushrooms?
That's fair.
Who tries to serve
I
mushrooms at
think
Thanksgiving?
probably
Oh, they'll sneak them in the gravy. That's where they put them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Great.
That's not the appropriate gravy for Thanksgiving.
You know, that's just the table I don't want to be at if they're serving that.
You know, they can also
But we're
sneak them in
actually-
green beans.
We're actually going out to dinner. We just found out today. My mother-in-law ended up in the hospital this morning. So what I do want is her to be well. I would like her to be at our table, but it looks like that might not happen. So I think we're going to go out to dinner on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry to hear that. I hope she gets better quickly.
Yeah, we do wish her the best. And of course, Todd, we appreciate you being with us this is usually a busy day for a lot of people. And it's, I think, going to be a busy year or two for the city of St. Louis. At least I'm hopeful in terms of development, in terms of new things coming to the area. And you talked with us, it was just a few weeks ago, about the development happening in Osage Beach near the Ozarks. What do we what should we expect now coming to O'Fallon in Missouri?
Well, O'Fallon, we're doing a deal with it'll be their second location, Carl's Drive-In. They've been in Brentwood for 62 years, serving great hamburgers and root beer. So we're proud to make a deal with them to do a second location for them. But in addition to that, we're going to have the Winghaven Speedway, which is going to be a multi-level, state-of-the-art go-kart track. And we're going to have a couple of amusement rides out there, a 50-foot tower that the guests will go up in a corkscrew motion and drop and bounce their way back down. And then a giant wave swinger, which is just a 50-foot tall swing ride. And the centerpiece is going to be a giant slide that's going to be 50 feet tall and 130 feet long, 6 lanes wide, and the go-kart track will actually drive underneath the slide and through the slide. So, we're going to have food and beverage, adult alcoholic beverages, ice cream for the family, and Carl's Drive-In food, and a handful of amusement rides.
Well, I want to get back to obviously the amusement rides and that part of the complex, but the Carl's Drive-In is a big deal. That's like if you were announcing, another location of Ted Drew's or something else that's just quintessential St. Louis, so iconic. So was it hard to convince Carl's Drive-In? Did they approach you? Do you know how that went down?
It just kind of happenstance. The Carl's Drive-In recently changed hands, and the new owner was just kind of digesting what he has there and trying to figure out, the future. And we got introduced, and it was kind of a match. We've been studying O'Fallon and St. Charles County for a while, and just seeing a void in family entertainment and offerings out there. And we needed a concession type operation, for the food side. And it just seemed to be a perfect fit, and just fell right in line with the new owner's vision for, the future of Carl's. We look to do this to be the first one of many we hope to do.
I like Carl's. And it's crazy because the first time I had it in my entire life, and I grew up here. I grew up in this area. I grew up on the Illinois side, but we spent a lot of time coming over to St. Louis and, into Chesterfield and Baldwin. And I had never been to Carl's until I think about a year ago.
Oh, wow.
Which is astounding that it took that long and finally did so. And it was great. So that's a huge addition for the people out west.
Yeah, and a lot of people, have relocated out west, and they're happy to bring a little bit of, the St. Louis side to them.
So let's talk about the complex as well. I mean, this isn't going to be the like what's happening in the Ozarks, that Osage Beach development, but it is still very exciting.
Yeah. This is something for the families here that's really approachable. Guests in from out of town or just kids looking for something to do. that St. Charles County has had explosive growth over the last couple of decades, and there's not a state-of-the-art go-kart track really, out there, or any type of amusement rides. So we intend to capitalize on all the growth that's happened out west. People from Warrenton and Wentzville and Troy, we would anticipate them all to come in, and as well as people from St. Louis County, will head out there for this type of offering. But the support that we've received so far has been tremendous. We have all our approvals with the city of O'Fallon, and we're looking to break ground in the spring.
Right. And the council did vote 9-1 to approve the plans for the complex. You talked about the Winghaven Speedway, the 40-foot high slide, a 50-foot high sky tower ride. And I imagine, that's a production. There are lots of lights. There will be noise. When I think of Winghaven, I often think about, all the neighborhoods and the residential areas. Will there be some space between residential areas and this particular complex?
Yeah, so we're going right off of Interstate 64 and State Highway Double D, adjacent to the Rush Soccer Complex and a movie theater. So in between us and the Caledonia subdivisions, there's a Waterway gas station, car wash under construction, as well as a buffer between the commercial properties and the residential properties. But the go-karts that we are going to use are actually quiet; they're electric. So you won't even hear them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's great. I don't know if
the car wash next to us will be louder than us.
That's okay.
And the lights on the soccer field will be brighter than ours.
Right. Well,
So-
there you go.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about being a public nuisance. Do you?
Yeah, which I was like, basically, so are you going to cause a lot of trouble out there?
Yeah. That's great news about your entertainment district, but could you quit making so much noise? Todd, when you look at stuff like this, and there's a lot of research that goes into building anything, if there's a district, a complex, an amusement park, whatever, you have to do a great deal of research just to make sure you've got the right spot that you're building on. But do you also research or have a certain expectation of the sorts of things that might pop up as a result of things that you've built? Like, do you have an idea of how the area around it might build up after this place is put there?
I think it's the making of an entertainment district there. You already have the movie theater. You have the youth athletics complex. If you look at this interchange versus the next interchange west, Highway N, that's where all your traditional big box retail and chain restaurants and fast food restaurants and strip centers have located. So this intersection before that's kind of special in that, it has the making of an entertainment destination, somewhere where there's cross access parking across, like 1,500 parking spaces out there. So I think guests will go see a movie, walk over, to our complex, or, people come in from out of town for these soccer tournaments and they have a couple hours in between games. We're a great option for them to come over and, spend those couple hours and not have to get in their car. So it's unique in the fact that I think that you'll see additional entertainment type users want to come around and be around us, because once you capture that guest that's in that, more of a leisure state of mind, then, there's an opportunity for them to stay longer.
He is Todd Schneider, managing partner of the developer Skyview Partners, sharing more information about the new entertainment complex that is being built in O'Fallon, Missouri. As we talked about, it's going to have the Carl's Drive-In. It will have a go-kart track, all sorts of activities for families. So thank you so much, Todd, for joining us on the Quiver River guest line.
No problem. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
And Todd, we hope that no mushrooms find their way into your gravy. I can't believe. Yeah, that's
you too.
Be very careful, Todd. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
That's Todd Schneider. I love when stuff gets built, and I know there's a lot more space out west to do things, but just every time you hear about construction, and I'm a little more partial to the city itself, to the city of St. Louis, because I want there to be more things here. Because I think your downtown, your city area defines your entire region, and that's what sells people from outside the market. So I'm very big on that. But anytime we build anything, it's good.
Yeah, it's great for the region. And it's to have new facilities, new complexes, new entertainment options all across the region is exciting. Down in Chesterfield, the Factory and that entertainment venue. Have you gone to a concert yet at the Factory down in
Not yet,
Chesterfield
no.
Valley? It's really incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll have everything from, crooners to heavy metal. Some friends of mine are huge metal fans. And I'm not speaking about, the idiot Kevin.
Yeah, we don't talk
We
about
don't
him
talk
anymore.
about him. But they're huge metal fans. They live in Soulard. They're driving to Chesterfield to go to a metal concert there. The acoustics are incredible. And yeah, it's like, okay, things are springing up all across the area. It's exciting.
Amy Marks, course, Chris Ranji on the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about protests and just the idea of them and how we in this country view protests as opposed to how we view protests around the world. Amy and Chris on the show on KMOX.
Well, if your business has 5 or more employees and you managed to survive the past couple of years, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. Now, it's not a loan and there is no payback. It's a refund of your taxes, and that can be a huge help because COVID shutdowns and restrictions, inflation, supply chain issues, they have been a heavy burden on businesses, and any break you can get, a little bit of financial relief is a huge deal. Go to getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they've put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. They've already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. Now, this payroll tax refund is only available for a limited amount of time, so you don't want to wait. You want to go to getrefunds.com and see if your business qualifies. Just click on Qualify Me and answer a few questions. Businesses of all types can qualify, even if you took PPP, even if you saw an increase in sales. Go to getrefunds.com.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
We would like to welcome you to the great big small town of Belleville, Illinois. Whether you are looking to enjoy the ambiance of our downtown area, complete with shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues to enjoy, or if you're waiting to find the perfect place to raise your family, Belleville is definitely the place you want to be. For more information about our incredible city, please visit belleville.net to experience all the reasons why you should call Belleville, Illinois home too. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
The Vietnam War united and divided our nation. A fracture still felt 5 decades later. Vietnam, at War and at Home, a new exhibit at Soldiers Memorial Military Museum, examines how the St. Louis region contributed to the dramatic storylines of this pivotal period of war, protest, tragedy, and change. From photos of the front lines to popular music to the experiences of those who served and the refugees who fled and settled here, the exhibit illuminates the Vietnam era and offers connections to today.
News, talk, sports. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Amy Marks, course, Chris Ranji on the show on KMOX.
All right.
The day before Thanksgiving? What?
It is the day before Thanksgiving.
It is.
And I want to bring up something that I saw regarding protests. I mentioned this earlier. My boy David French.
Oh,
Sorry.
I know about David French.
Okay. Well, he among many other people on the right and the left, from Ben Shapiro to CNN, tweeted about the Iranian soccer team. And when before their first World Cup game, they did not sing along to their national anthem. And it was a pretty visible protest, one that could potentially have severe consequences for them when they go back home. And an act of bravery and solidarity with all of the protests that are happening on the streets in Tehran right now. And so they were being praised and lauded. Then you have the I guess symbolic protest of the soccer players that were going to wear the rainbow armbands. The captains of 7 teams were going to wear, rainbow armbands to protest the lack of LGBTQ rights in Qatar, to say, hey, we're playing in your country, but we are not cool with how you treat the LGBT community, which is like imprisonment and death and really horrible human rights abuses. And then you have protests that happen in this country. And what's interesting is all of these protesters are standing up to some type of injustice, but the way we talk about them seems to be very, very different. I do think maybe as a country, we are more prone to praising protests internationally, like what's happening in Iran or Afghanistan, and we're really, really supportive of that and talk about that as bravery. Here, we're a little bit pickier with who we support or don't support in protests. I know every protest is different, but what do you think about the different types of protesters, how we respond to it, why some we kind of idealize, maybe out of ignorance? I'm not sure.
It's because when it's happening over there, we are not being inconvenienced by it. That's all
Part
it
of
is. I think that's probably most of it. And the other part of it is there are people who just absolutely vehemently disagree with your protest. And we saw it during the kneeling for the national anthem during football games, basketball, whatever. People were livid about it. Some people, but other people understood the nuance of what was going on.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a protest against the national anthem and it wasn't a protest against the military, but that's how it was taken and twisted. Because if you remember, there was actually a member of the service that told Colin Kaepernick it would sit better with us if you didn't sit during the national anthem. If you were to take a knee, I think that would be more acceptable. And this is a member of the military who told him that, which is why he decided to do it. But people took it and ran with it and twisted it into something else. So I think it's fundamentally a disagreement about the issue because I don't want to look at it. I just don't want to see it. don't want it in my face. I don't want to have to, first of all, accept that there might actually be something bad that's happening here, because I would like the worldview I have to be the one that's correct and that everything is okay and that you've got it pretty good here. So what are you protesting about? Because things are fine.
It's interesting. I do think that's part of it. I think some of it is when we look at what's happening in Iran or in China, because those protesters are blocking the streets, because I don't like it when protesters block highways here. I think that's very, very dangerous.
And I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and we see people blocking the streets in Iran, Afghanistan, and China, but you can see the egregious human rights abuses from dictatorial regimes or autocratic regimes where there is no democracy. The people don't have a voice. Quite literally in China, you have genocides going on, or in Afghanistan, you have oppression, abuse of groups of people. I mean, my goodness, oppression and abuse of women, half the population. So it's easy to say, look at that as a black and white situation, as a binary of freedom versus oppression. Here, because we do not live under a dictatorial regime, we do have a democracy. It's like we know so much that it's all nuanced. Like, well, some of this injustice is happening, but not to the scope and scale that you say it is. Do you know what I mean? Like we tend to pick it apart and we're a lot
Yeah, we do.
pickier, a whole lot pickier, and we disqualify some of the real injustices that are happening because we think, well, it's not on this scale. Or like you said, life is pretty good in general, so you shouldn't protest this injustice.
Which and people do agree. They think that, and a lot of people agree with that sentiment. I don't, because I don't think the valid argument to a person's protest about something that they're in a marginalized group, for example, and they are protesting for rights for being gay or being transsexual or whatever. And the argument against it should never be, well, you've got it pretty good here because in other countries, people like you are being killed by the government. You're being imprisoned by the government. Well, yeah, that's true, but that doesn't mean it can't still be better here. And our standard should not be, well, at least you're not being murdered by the government. That's
Right.
not the standard. Obviously you shouldn't be murdered by the government. The standard should be, how can we not marginalize you as a group of people just because of this?
It's kind of, it's like an illness. Someone could have terminal cancer. Someone else could be dealing with really bad stomach issues. And you could say, well, sorry about your stomach, but at least you don't have terminal
Right.
cancer. And you wouldn't want to trivialize that. So
Right.
you have to have scope. So I'm grateful that we have a country where we can protest, because the protesters here are not going to be killed and imprisoned en masse like they are in Afghanistan or Iran. And one way to put it in perspective, when you see some of the protests over 2020, like during the George Floyd protests, obviously I'm against destruction and looting and rioting, which were a lot of opportunists who came at night, criminals who came at night under the guise of protest, but were separate altogether from the peaceful protests.
Correct.
But one way to put in perspective was, again, my guy, David French.
My guy, you love David French.
Yeah, but I just love this phrase. He said, you can't erase all of the effects of 365 years of legalized racism in the 56 years since the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, think about that. 365 years of legalized racism. You're going to feel the effects of that, and you can't erase all of that in the 56 years. So you can make great gains and steps and improvements, which we have, but we're still dealing with the consequences of that disastrous stain on our country's history.
You're right, but people don't want to hear it. People who aren't affected by it don't want to hear that it's still a problem for others. Amy Marks-Kors, Chris Ranji, you are listening to the show. We've got a guest coming up next. We'll talk to Pastor Dr. Linda Settles when we come back here on KMOX.
I only know what life looks like and feels like through my eyeballs. It's my life. I wonder if anyone is where they thought they would be. I'm not where I thought I would be even 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Life changes so much. Yeah, hey, make your plans, do what you want to do, whether it's marriage or kids or your job or your health.
Discover the life of Dave Glover.
I'm surprised at how surprising life is.
Weekday afternoons beginning at 2, only on KMOX.
KMOX news time is 11:29. Donate your car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At 11:30, it's a sunny sky and 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. Governor Parson has appointed Andrew Bailey to replace Eric Schmidt as Missouri's Attorney General. It's the second time during his administration he's had to appoint an AG. 2 blasts have gone off near bus stops in Jerusalem at the height of rush hour, killing a Canadian-Israeli teenager and injuring at least 18 in what Israeli police said were attacks by Palestinians. The average long-term U.S. mortgage rate edged lower for the second time in 2 weeks, though it remains more than double what it was a year ago, a significant hurdle for many would-be homebuyers. We've got the closure of 70 West at Jennings Station. Again, 70 West is closed. Rather, 2 lanes are blocked. Just updated. We've got the crash 70 West at Jennings Station. 2 lanes are blocked. We've also got stall on 6440 East at 94 on the right shoulder and a crash on I-170 North at Olive. The 2 left lanes are closed. This afternoon, mild with some sun, high 60 to 64 degrees. Clouds tonight, some bits of rain could arrive toward daybreak with a low of 45. For tomorrow, cloudy, damp, and chilly with some light rain or drizzle on a few occasions and a high of 52. It's 58 degrees at the Arch at the moment. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988. There is hope. The Lifeline works. 988 for 24/7 confidential support. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
The holidays are here, but for some families, they'll spend that time at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. I'm Carol Daniel. KMOX, along with all of our sister stations at our company, Odyssey STL, are again proud to partner with you and other generous St. Louisans in our community to raise funds for the Tree of Hope campaign for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. It's so easy to give. Just text the word HOPE to 20357 or KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon.
Diamonds Direct is celebrating the holiday season by extending our special 20% savings offer through this weekend. So, you have a few more days to take advantage of the best prices of the season, an extra 20% off store-wide. Start your holiday shopping now and save big. Everything is included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, and yes, thousands of engagement rings are now an extra 20% off. Our selection for the holidays has never been better, and that includes our breathtaking collection of loose diamonds, hand-picked exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Don't miss this special extension of our biggest and final store-wide sale of the year through this weekend only. Save an extra 20% on a multi-million-dollar inventory of fine jewelry. Ask about special financing, too. Diamonds Direct. Get all the details at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arnado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win!
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
We are America's sports voice, KMOX.
Trying to get in touch with Pastor Dr. Linda Settles as a restoration of a church in Chesterfield is underway, or at least the hope to be able to do it is underway. So we're trying to connect with her. We're having some phone issues here. But in the meantime, you are welcome to join us at 314-436-7900. Amy Marks, Kors, Chris Ranji on the show.
Yes, and actually it's volunteers from the United Methodist Church of Green Trails are helping to restore an African-American schoolhouse that is the oldest surviving one-room schoolhouse for African-Americans
years old?
in
Yeah.
Missouri. It was built in 1894, 127 years old. There was a place that we went to in rural Missouri that was called Bunker Hill, and it was for the Missouri Teachers Association, I think at the time. Now, I mean, this thing goes back to like the 1930s, 40s, 50s. And it was a whole series of cabins, and they had this giant lodge where everyone would eat community meals. So it was like a resort on I believe, the Jack's Fork River. I think that's what it was. And it was so much fun. We could go because my grandpa was a principal in the Blackjack district, I believe. And we would go as little kids. And my mom went there when she was in kindergarten, as a little kid. And there was an old one-room schoolhouse, old school like you would see on Little House on the Prairie. And my sister and I would
Which
go.
I've actually seen, by the way.
Wait, The little house.
I've seen the little house
on the prairie.
Is it in Oklahoma or Kansas? I
Mm,
think it's in Kansas.
I don't know.
But yeah, I saw it. It's a
Huh.
little house.
Is it? Is it like a replica, or is it Laura
It doesn't
Ingalls
look like
Wilder's
it-
house?
So if I remember the house from the show, that was kind of a bigger. Was it a bigger house in Little House? Did they have a 2-story
It
house?
wasn't
in
that
Little
little
House?
of a house.
It wasn't, right?
It was kind of like a pretty good sized house
That's
on
what
the
I thought.
prairie.
It wasn't that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
Okay. It was
So it was just
actually
like
little.
it was an old cabin, and there were a couple of little structures there.
Okay. Well, thanks for that story, which had nothing to do with what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
well, you brought up the little house.
I brought up a schoolhouse.
Okay.
Okay. Well, a one-room schoolhouse, and we would play in this one-room schoolhouse and do class, and it smelled so old and kind of like mildew, but it was a lot of fun. The chalkboard, yeah, all of that.
Okay. Well, thanks, Amy.
Hey, you're welcome, Ronj. Thanks for caring.
And at this time, we welcome in Pastor Dr. Linda Settles, who is a prominent member of this church. And this church, by the way, is just west of 141 by a couple of minutes. So it's right there on Ladue Road, just west of 141. And Dr. Settles is with us. Good morning, Doctor. How you doing?
Oh, good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. And I have to say, I did
Good.
not know about this old schoolhouse. I love it. I love history. This was African School Number 4, I think was the name of the officially the oldest surviving one-room schoolhouse for African Americans in Missouri. And the community had to fight to get it built back in 1894.
Yes, it's a fascinating story. I only heard about it through a calendar that the Chesterfield Historical Society published for 2023. So if you get a hold of that calendar, look at, I think it's February, and you'll see a glimpse of the story.
And with the story of this schoolhouse that you found out about, was there a plan to knock it down? Was it not being preserved?
Well, the St. Louis County Parks Department had been on it for quite a while. They wanted to preserve it. And so this isn't just a recent thing. They've been after this building for a while. One of the previous owners of the land actually cut into it and made it a part of a garage for his home. And then they sold the property, and the next owner did not do that, but they saw the value in it. So the Parks Department pursued that owner, and they were willing to give the building to the Parks Department.
And was the schoolhouse originally located on Wild Horse Creek Road and then moved to Faust Park?
Yes, yes, painstakingly as it was put together in 1894. It was just as carefully and sacredly and painstakingly taken apart log by log and cataloged, marked with metal markers with an indentation of the exact location of each and every piece. So they literally have restored it as it was, just in a different location.
So there's been about $35,000, if I'm not mistaken, that's been raised to help with this project. Is that all the funding that's needed?
Oh, no, we are still in the process. And I say we are simply partnering with the Parks Department. So they are still in the process of doing this. And so, there's going to be the shingling and the siding and painting and everything else that goes along with restoring it to its proper place in the village. And so, yeah, there's still a need for donations, no doubt. And folks can get more information on that by contacting the Parks Foundation, the St. Louis County Parks Foundation. They're actually the ones that are kind of spearheading this.
Do you have an idea of how much more is needed for this?
That I don't, but I spoke with Mark Ohlendorf, who's the president of the Parks Foundation, and he would have a better grasp on that.
We're speaking with Reverend Dr. Linda Settles. She's the pastor at the United Methodist Church of Green Trails. She's joining us on the Quiver River guest line as we talk about this historic one-room schoolhouse, the oldest African-American schoolhouse in the state of Missouri. It was built in 1894. And Dr. Settles, when you look at the history of the St. Louis area and the significance of this schoolhouse and what it meant for the African American community, what it continues to symbolize and illustrate when we look at our history of this area, why is it so important to make sure that people see this schoolhouse, experience it, and know what its place was in the community?
Well, I'm a firm believer in connections, and I believe that we truly are all connected on this earth. And if we would just get to know the stories of one another, we would realize that there's really more that unites us than divides us. And so at the church, we talk about this quite often. You know, I'm in what we call a cross-racial appointment, which means a person of a different race is your pastor. And so since I've been there, we've talked about the fact that it's, you know, you have a Black pastor, so that means every month is Black History Month. That means we get to know one another. I get to know them, and they get to know me and my culture as well. So when I saw this story, something leaped inside of me and said, this is a connection. This is something that we can all wrap our hands around and our minds around and our hearts around and get behind this, because this is something that unites us.
How much support have you gotten so far? And we're talking about the monetary support. Obviously, you need more funding for this particular project. But as far as just community support and sentiment and that sort of thing, how much are you getting?
Well, we have just come on board with this project. I just got that calendar maybe a month or so ago. And so all of this has happened kind of quickly for us. We were at a point where the Parks Department was ready to do some chinking, you know, of the schoolhouse. That's where you put the stuff between the logs. It's a technical thing, but don't ask me. All I know is we did it. And so we just came at a right moment when we could actually put our hands to it. But when we got there this past Saturday morning, someone asked the group, what brought you out here? And one of the gentlemen said, our pastor gave the call, and we responded. And so that's the kind of sentiment that's behind it. It's like, this is something that's important to all of us, not just me as their pastor who's African American, but the support that I've gotten from the congregation behind this project has really been heartwarming. Because we're really trying to build a sense of community.
I love that. Just again, that we have more in common than we do have differences, and being able to learn about the experience that we all have, the history of our community, and what a great way for kids to make history come alive. I know when I was younger, I went to Foster Park, and they have the reenactments, and they're cooking over a stove, and you're walking through the historic houses, and the people there are dressed in period costumes, and it makes history come alive. It makes you appreciative of what we have now. Life could be pretty rough back then.
Yes. So imagine in the next year or so, when everything is finished, I think they're trying to get the grand opening set for the spring, maybe April or May or so of next year. Imagine the kids that will come to this schoolhouse and see this history as a part of their community. It helps to normalize, what seems to be dividing us as races, right? It helps to say we're all here together and we all are a part of history.
Do you think, too, going to a schoolhouse like that, kids might be more open to asking questions about why were we divided? Why did we treat each other differently? And then see why we should come together now?
I hope so. I hope it does raise question marks for young people, because we live in a time that explanations are not being given, just words are being thrown about. And no one's talking about, the source of everyone's pain. And so if we can start having the kids to ask questions, just tell me, why this had to be, why we couldn't all go to school together then. It makes it more organic to me when it comes from the child, as opposed to, teaching the history, which we need to do. But when they can see it firsthand and even have a hand in helping to restore it. We didn't have any children on this event, but in the future, we hope to go back and do some other minor things to help restore it. Hopefully, some of our kids will go with us, because this is something they can tell their kids and their grandkids, that I had a hand in helping to restore this for our community.
And just to reiterate once again, if people are interested in making a donation to help this project along, the website is stlcountyparksfoundation.org/donate. And when you go there, you can make a donation directly to this, to the Restore the African American Schoolhouse number 4. There's a drop-down menu. You go and you can put it in, and this money will go directly to that. So, Dr. Settles, we appreciate your time. We wish you continued luck in this project. It is a great one, and we hope it does go well.
Well, thank you so much for the time to talk about it. It's something that's near and dear to our hearts.
That is Dr. Lenda Settles, and she is with the Green Trails Church. And again, let me give you that website one more time. It is stlcountyparksfoundation.org/donate. And then again, when you go there, you can give a custom amount. You can give $50, $100, $35, whatever you want to do. And then there's a drop-down menu there where it says designation, and you can pick where you want this money to go to specifically. Amy Marks Corps, Chris Ranji, you are listening to the show on KMOX.
The Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for the Holiday Food Drive. While supplies last, stop into any metro area Hardee's and make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS Holiday Bumper Sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. Get all the details about the campaign, or if you want to make an online donation, head to the KMOX.com events page now.
Get 4 tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium when you donate your car to Goodwill. It's easy, towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt too. Dive in and check it out at mersgoodwill.org.
Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Well, it really is my favorite time of the year, and you can join me and the Salvation Army in their Angel Tree program to help make Christmas come true for a child who otherwise might not have any gifts to open this Christmas morning. Now, the Salvation Army Angel Tree program has been a tradition since 1979, and you can imagine how many children they've helped through this program each year, because last year alone, they helped over 4,000 children in the greater St. Louis area to get Christmas gifts, children who otherwise wouldn't have had any other gifts to open. Now, the Angel Tree program, you can adopt an angel either by picking an ornament from a physical tree that you see at a church or an organization, a shopping mall, a place of business, or you can go to salarmymidland.org and click on Adopt a Child. On that ornament that you'll get either from the tree or online, you'll have the specific list of Christmas wants and need from a child who does need help this Christmas season, a family that's struggling to pay the bills and maybe is not able to buy any Christmas gifts. Then you go shopping for that child, and the Salvation Army will make sure that they get their gifts. And again, the deadline for this is November 28th, so you want to act quickly. Go to salarmymidland.org.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
Now your Bite This Network traffic report. It looks like every vehicle in the country is currently headed to Hardee's for a saucy A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99. You heard that right. Every single car, truck, and annoying electric scooter thing all heading to Hardee's. But don't take a detour. Hit the brakes on your hunger with a Charbroil Double Deal. Bite into the new A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99, only at Hardee's. Tax not included. Available for limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price may vary. A1 is a registered trademark of Kraft Foods used with permission.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444. This is the show. The show continues on KMOX.
Steve Hawley from Guns N' Hoses. That's tonight. Amy's going to be there. He will join us in the next hour. Bill McDermott going to talk some soccer, some World Coupe soccer is ongoing. Big upset yesterday. There's a big upset coming up on Friday.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it's going to happen. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji on the show. No, Kevin. The texter.
Ever again.
A texter from a 314 says, tired of you two referring to Kevin as an idiot. How immature are you?
That was me. I think I said it twice. Very immature, and I won't say it anymore.
Oh, I'll keep saying
that. Genius. My favorite guy.
This has to be a message from Kevin.
Yeah.
Has to be from Kevin. It's not from Susan, because Susan would be like, yeah, totally, you're right.
No.
He is an idiot.
He's not an idiot. That's why. See, the thing is, I am always the target of jokes. I'm the one that people make fun of. So if you are, and I am, super dorky and always the target of jokes, then I can kind of dish out a moderately offensive insult every now and then.
I'm just glad somebody likes Kevin.
I am too.
Right?
Good for
Isn't that
him.
sweet?
I thank you for texting and listening.
314-436-7900. And you can also text us the things that you want. I mean, aside from the turkey's off the table.
Pay attention, because we need people to get engaged. So
Yes.
pay attention to the rules here.
Well, you don't want to get engaged now. Bad time of year.
Oh yeah, not engaged like
turkey-
loving kind of engaged.
The turkey is a given. It's going to be at the table, probably. Nothing you can do about it. So the turkey is there.
Yeah.
What are things that you don't want at Thanksgiving, and the things that you absolutely require be present? And this could be food.
Yeah, it could be anything. Here's an example given by our producer, Dave. Dave, you said that Jerry Jones was asked this question. What's something that he wants at the Thanksgiving table? What's something that he doesn't want? And he had an interesting answer.
Right. The thing
We're talking
that
Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys.
Yes.
and he was asked this, and the thing he wanted was like his wife's mashed potatoes or something. I don't remember what it was. Then they said, "What's the thing you don't want?" And he said, one year when he was a kid, instead of a turkey, his dad brought home a raccoon. And he said it was the worst Thanksgiving they ever had.
So this is why Jerry Jones is like this.
Can you do that? Can you bring home a raccoon?
Why not?
That's not an edible thing.
You have to. Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's edible. It's just not very good.
Disease-ridden?
Well, you cook it.
Well, you don't buy it at Schnucks.
Well, you kill it yourself.
Ugh.
You can't eat raccoon you can't get raccoon from the store.
I know.
You have to shoot it with some kind of pellet gun.
314-436-7900 to
You've
get
ever
involved.
eaten raccoon.
Yeah, and don't you have to get it tested for disease before you eat it?
You cook it.
I don't think it cooks out disease.
Amy, do
What?
you think people
Yeah.
who live in the sticks and who hunt their own food, do you think they test the food for bacteria first?
Maybe they should.
No, they cook it.
Did Jerry Jones grow up in the sticks?
He must have.
It was in Arkansas, I know,
No,
but
yeah,
I'm not
it-
too sure what part.
Yeah, it's probably.
Well, his dad's bringing home a raccoon. I'm sure it's not.
It wasn't
in
like
the middle big
Fayetteville
city
or anything.
You didn't get it at Straub's.
No, he didn't He did not
They
get
go to
raccoon
Trader
at
Joe's.
Straub's. Right. There's just, with the Trader Joe's I'm going to get the good raccoon. It's on sale today.
But anyway, it could be a person. It could be a thing. Maybe there's an uncomfortable chair. Ever sat in an uncomfortable chair before?
I have.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Here-
want that at the table.
I have to have two things. I have to have stuffing. I love stuffing.
Stuffing
And-
or dressing?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well,
Call
it does
call whatever you
because
want.
stuffing is stuffed into the turkey.
And I do love I love pumpkin pie.
That's good.
pie!
Well,
What?
she said did you not see the old lady?
What?
Yeah, she said pancake pie.
Pancake pie!
You don't know about do you not know about the pink pie lady?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Pancake pie?
Give me the phone number from the apple pie.
You want apple pie now?
Whatever it is, pancake pie.
There was a lady, and this guy is recording his mother, who is, I believe she's French, and she cannot say pumpkin pie. And he asks her over and over again to try and pronounce pumpkin pie, and she can't. You didn't hear this lady?
No.
Do you really think it's called pancake pie?
No, it's similar to pancake pie. Of course, no. Pancake is pancakes. It's the pancake. But no pancake.
Can't say pumpkin pie. You never heard of this lady?
No.
Oh, she got like internet famous a couple of years ago.
Pancake pie.
Oh God, I love pancake pie.
Pancake pie.
I gotta have all the pancake pie. Better be some pancake pie this weekend. Tomorrow, Amy Mark scores Chris Ranji. It's almost noon on the show.
So delicious in every bite. Dad's cookies, they taste so right.
Dad's cookies go mighty fast this time of year, so stock up next time you're shopping. And for an easy and unique gift for out-of-town family and friends, give them the sweet taste of a St. Louis tradition by ordering at dadscookies.com.
The taste made just for you.
And in stores everywhere.
Dad's Cookies.
dadscookies.com.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman. You can find us online at claymangroup.com, KLAMEN group.com. If you own investment and rental properties and you've been thinking about selling, we are very interested. The market is very strong. We've been very aggressive with our offers. So if you own a package of single-family houses that you'd like to sell, or one single-family rental property you'd like to sell, apartments or commercial investment property, please reach out and we can provide you a very simple transaction. Complete the form online and start the conversation today. Claymangroup.com, KLAMEN group.com.
Bring your family to the 4th annual Moolah Festival of Trees to experience a winter wonderland with over 40 exquisitely decorated Christmas trees with amazing gift packages November 19th through 26th at the Moolah Shrine. Purchase raffle tickets for just $1 for a chance to take home one or more of these creative and beautifully designed trees, including the gifts, which include toys, tools, sports items, kayaks, barbecue pits, gift cards, and even a complete HVAC system for your home. Tree values range from $500 to over $12,000. The Festival of Trees is an exciting Christmas event for all ages. You can take a souvenir photo with Santa Claus to capture the spirit of Christmas. And be sure to visit Santa's Cafe for some refreshing
These cameras are pretty good to go. Fifi Road. It's also older system too. I don't know how much.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free.
I don't follow a connection on 2. I'll have to test it.
Paramount Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE.
Streaming's over here though.
30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. Take advantage of this exclusive limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. This is KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's sunny and 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour, police in Chesapeake, Virginia say an employee opened fire on fellow workers in the break room of a Walmart store last night, killing 6 people before taking his own life in the country's second high-profile mass shooting in 4 days.
which the city, the county, the regional sports authority have come to a tentative agreement
They have.
on how the money is going to be divided amongst the entities.
And
so,
it still needs to be approved by the 11-member Regional Sports Authority Board, the RSA Board.
So the $250 million to the city,
Mm-hmm.
$169 million to the county, and then $70 million to the Regional Sports Authority.
Yes. And some of the RSA members want to put the funds into a trust fund-like structure so that they can get interest on the money, have the money grow, and then support programs in perpetuity. But there are some state restrictions on how you can invest money like this. I'm not sure what those restrictions are, but to me, it seems fiscally responsible, very wise to invest this money and use it for years to come, make it a tenable plan versus that $1 billion runway that we have at Lambert, that we wrote a check for $1 billion, we used it, and we do not use the runway. Or perhaps the $32 million federal grant that we got for the Loop Trolley, which has been a giant waste. That's it.
Well, I think that's our fear. Look, we are kidding ourselves if we expect that all of the $250 million that comes to the city is all going to be spent wisely. That there isn't going to be some waste. There's going to be waste. And it's going to happen in the county, too. There's going to be waste in the county. I'm sure the RSA is going to waste some of it on projects that maybe they don't really need. But I think what we're talking about is limiting the amount of waste, the amount of silliness when the spending does happen.
Here's the thing. There are some projects, new developments that the money could be appropriated for that. And that would be great. But also, there are some really basic services. Some of it that does come down to salaries, whether it's creating salaries or increasing salaries in order to get workers. For instance, just this past weekend, at one point, there were 2 dispatchers staffed for the entire St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, police traffic. So like at one point, police traffic had 2 dispatchers.
Yeah.
That's because 911 operations are short 32 dispatchers, 2 supervisors, and 2 managers. That means there were 2 dispatchers covering 6 police districts. Though money should be funneled to that area to get 911 dispatchers.
I agree, but there's got to be a plan in place. The money is continuously replenished.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be we have this money now and we're going to fund salaries for the next 8 years until the money runs out. That can't be the thing.
Yeah.
That can't be the thing we do. The money has to make money.
Yeah. I just think if they're able to invest it in a way where they can continue to generate funds, put it towards some projects that otherwise would not have the funding, but you can't ignore the necessities. And 911 dispatchers, people have to know when they live in the city that when they call 911, there will be somebody there to answer the phone call.
We talked to Todd Schneider of Skyview Partners about the new entertainment, I guess complex you'd call it. It's going to happen in O'Fallon, Missouri. There'll be go-karts there. There's going to be a Carl's Drive-In that is put out there. And we talk about building and new things. I tend to be more interested in things that happen in the city because I think the city itself has to improve, and that then affects positively the rest of the area. But when something gets built anywhere, it's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you live, within city limits, so that's your environment, that's your community. What's interesting is when we had He Who Shall Not Be Named, when the 3 of us were in the studio.
Stupid Kevin.
No, we can't call him that anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We had St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Charles County all represented. Because when we voted, we were all in city, St. Louis County, St. Charles County. Because it's all tied together. When people say, I'm from St. Louis, or when they go out of town, no matter where they live, they say, I'm from St. Louis. They don't say I'm from Chesterfield.
Right.
They don't say I'm from Fenton. Now, within St. Louis, when you're in that area, this area, we specify, but the whole area is tied together.
We also spoke to Reverend Settles, Dr. Linda Settles, with the church in the Chesterfield area, and they still need your help because they're looking to raise funds to restore a church that was built in 1894. So STL County Parks Foundation.
It's a schoolhouse.
It's a schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Right. What did I say? Church?
Yeah.
STLCountyParksFoundation.org.
Yeah.
You can make a specific donation to the restoration of that African-American school.
Yeah, the oldest African-American one-room schoolhouse in the state of Missouri. It was originally off of Wild Horse Creek Road. They moved it painstakingly, piece by piece, numbered piece by numbered piece to Faust Park. And that will be awesome if they can include that in their tours and the way they reenact the time period. A lot of fun, great resource for school children. But Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
And we are taking your submissions for something that you do not want at the Thanksgiving table and something that you absolutely have to have at the Thanksgiving table.
And it doesn't have to be food.
No, it could be a chair, could be a
It could
person.
be your uncle.
Yeah.
I want my uncle to be at Thanksgiving. Guy can cook.
Is there anyone that you don't want at Thanksgiving?
Any person? No, I'm good. It's an open door.
Can
Whoever
I
wants
come to your Thanksgiving?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Anybody else, though, totally invited.
All right.
We did get a text message, a couple of them actually, about the food. And this one said this is from a 314, fried snapping turtle tastes a lot like chicken livers.
How come every text we're getting is about eating possums or raccoons or turtles? This is not
Amy,
Thanksgiving.
We're in St. Louis. Also, this one from a 314. Pretty sure if you don't cook the disease out of a turtle, you'll get Oh my God. Oh my God. This person got me. This person got me, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish the text.
No!
They got me.
Okay.
This is why you always proofread. This text message again says, pretty sure if you don't cook the disease out of a turtle, you'll get reptile dysfunction.
That's so dumb.
That is so dumb.
That's so dumb.
And I fell for it.
What I want to know is if you eat the turtle, and you get that disease, how long do the symptoms last? Like 30, 60, or 90 minutes?
Well, if it's 4 hours, you have to call the doctor.
Okay.
Way to go. 314-436-7900. You can also send us a voicemail at 944-1120. Do you see what you've done?
You did it.
I didn't do anything.
You read it.
I did. You know where I read it?
On the text line.
On Reddit.
Oh.
There are no more movie stars, Amy.
That doesn't even make sense.
There
Tom
are
Cruise.
no more movie stars.
Who said this?
Well, we'll tell you when we come back on the show.
Well, if you go to getrefunds.com, and if you are a business owner and your business has 5 or more employees and you managed to survive the past couple of years, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. And that's a big deal when you're dealing with all the issues that companies, businesses have had to deal with. I know the past couple of years have put a lot of companies out of business. But if you manage to hang in there through the inflation, through the restrictions, through the shutdowns, you'll want to go to getrefunds.com to see if your business qualifies for this tax refund. And you might qualify even if your company took PPP, even if you're a nonprofit, or even if you saw an increase in sales. The team of tax attorneys that they've put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program, and they've already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. Now, this refund program is available only for a limited amount of time, so you don't want to wait. Go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you're concerned about the current market and the 40-year record high inflation that we're seeing, you're not alone.
Credit card usage skyrocketing and at record highs, savings rates plunging. It's 100% certainty that you're in recession now.
The good news is, for decades, Steve All and his team have been helping people just like you protect and grow your income. and most importantly, not run out of money.
My clients that are currently sitting there on guaranteed incomes, they're not really worried about what's happening in the market. So they're more at peace because every month that paycheck comes in.
Call Steve today for your customized market protection plan, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Let's talk real estate for a minute. The St. Louis market is kind of tricky for home sellers right now, with home values going down and not selling as quickly. Now is not the time to risk losing precious equity on your home. This is Debbie Monterey, and I always recommend calling Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's the best. She's experienced every type of market, both good, great, and the not so good. So before you list your home for sale, call Gloria, and here's why. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself, guaranteed in writing. Gloria already has the buyers, thousands of buyers in her database. In fact, your home may already be sold. Gary and Angela called Gloria and sold their home even before it listed because Gloria had several buyers looking for a home in that area. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever, only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
Serving St. Louis for over 96 years. KMOX.
$12:20 on the show. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji today. It's
and every day from here on out.
Yeah, and here on out, because Kevin is moving to the Glover Show. Trish is leaving KMOX. She'll still be on KEZK. So Kevin's going to take over there for her. And you and I are going to be on from 10 to 1 every day. And then 1 to 2, we will hang around while the Glover Show comes in. So from 1 to 2 o'clock, going to be all of us.
It's going to be a huge party from 1 to 2 because you'll have Dave, Kevin, Rachel, Andrew, you, and me.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people with microphones, but I think we're going to be able to figure it out. Recently, Quentin Tarantino, and we talked about him yesterday in regard to violence in movies and that sort of thing. But he also had said recently that there are no more movie stars, that you still have the old guard. You still have the Tom Cruise, the Tom Hanks.
Quentin Tarantino
Yes.
said there are no more movie stars.
Yes.
Okay.
And he called it, I believe the exact words he used were the Marvelization of Hollywood, referring to the Marvel universe, and that it is no longer the case that it is, I think what he said actually was Chris Evans is not the movie star. Captain America is the movie star.
That's a good point.
It is. And people started to criticize him, but Anthony Mackie, who plays the Falcon in the Marvel universe, stuck up for Quentin Tarantino.
Like, there are no movie stars anymore. Like, Anthony Mackie isn't a movie star. The Falcon is a movie star. And that's what's weird. It used to be with Tom Cruise and Will Smith and Stallone and Schwarzenegger, When you went to the movies, you went to go see the Stallone movie. You went to go see the Schwarzenegger movie. Now you go see X-Men. So the evolution of the superhero has meant the death of the movie star. And that's the fear now, because you're now making movies for 16-year-olds and China. And that's it. You think of some of your favorite movies growing up, those movies wouldn't get made today.
Goonies?
Wouldn't get made today.
Halloween?
Wouldn't get made today.
Thing?
Wouldn't get made today.
Now, I don't know if I agree with him on those movies. Maybe he's got a point, because movies are there to make money. And it was Matt Damon recently who said, or maybe it was within the last year or something, who said something to the effect of, when studios go in to the process of making a movie, they need to know they're going to make at least $100 million off the top. And some of the more personal movies, you know, the love story movies, they don't necessarily make that. So then they become independent films. But I wonder if there is a point there. And it's interesting because somebody had told me about the Tarantino thing, and they said, yeah, he said there's no more movie stars. And my first thought was, oh, okay, let me think about this. Yeah, that makes sense. And the first person I thought of was Chris Evans. And I say, Chris Evans isn't the star, it's Captain America. And then I thought the exact same thing about Liam Hemsworth and Thor, because you think of him as Thor.
Right.
And then I go and I read the Tarantino quote, and those are the exact two people he used as an example. And I thought that's really interesting, because there's the old guard, as I mentioned earlier, but you don't really have the younger stars, with the exception of maybe Jennifer Lawrence. Like, that's a movie star you think of.
Yeah, she's a movie star that that seems to transcend the roles. Like you would say, did you see Jennifer Lawrence's new film? Because you absolutely say that with Tom Cruise. You say that with Tom Hanks. It is a really interesting fact, and he called it the Marvelization, of Hollywood. And you're right. You talk about Thor, all of that. It's the characters. Do you think playing into that, making possible the Marvelization of Hollywood, is that there's also a focus of superhero movies on the big screen? Superhero movies go to the theater, where now more and more artsy films, maybe romantic comedies, maybe films that are genre bending, a little bit more niche, they go to streaming. You can be a movie star on Netflix, on Hulu, whatever it may be, Amazon. You don't necessarily need the theater. Like, would this still have happened without streaming?
It's a great question, and I don't have an answer for that. But it's funny you say that, because I just saw a preview for a Chris Evans movie with Alice Eve, and Alice Eve was in. She was in Star Trek, one of the newer Star Trek movies. I forgot which one. She was also in, oh gosh, there's the nerdy kid that she falls in love with, real tall, skinny looking dude, and he has no business being with her. It's from like 10 years ago. I can't think of the name of the movie, but they're in it together. And I watched the preview and I thought, there's no way a big movie, like a big movie house is making this. This isn't Warner Brothers. This isn't something like that. And then at the end, they tell you who is making it, and it was some independent filmmaker. It wasn't anything big. That otherwise, maybe 15 years ago, that does make it to a big screen.
Yeah. I don't know that it's possible for Marvel and the idea of the character being the star in the movie versus the actor or actress. I don't know if that happens without the simultaneous collision with streaming.
That's a great question.
The advent of streaming. Because where else would they go? Well, now you have big stars, whether it's Nicole Kidman, Hugh Jackman, on streaming services. I think you even have Tom Hanks on streaming services. Tom Cruise is the guy. He's the holdout.
Apple TV.
Yeah, but think of Tom Cruise. His movie is Top Gun. That's a movie that they specifically held on to until theaters reopened and people could see it on a big screen.
What is also amazing is, and part of the equation is you can have a fantastic viewing experience
Mhm.
at home now
Mhm.
because it's nothing to have a 60 or a 70-inch television. Doesn't cost that, relatively speaking, it doesn't cost you $5,000 to do it. You can get a really nice TV with a great picture for $1,000
Yeah.
or less. I mean, there wasn't that long ago that if you wanted a huge TV in your living room and add a really nice sound system, it was going to cost you several $1,000s. And you can still do that, but you can also create a really good home theater experience for yourself for relatively cheap. And people just like being at home. They like being comfortable, and they don't necessarily want to go to a movie theater and sit in uncomfortable seats, which is why you're seeing theaters start to make the reclining seats
Mhm.
and start to make the in-house service where you have servers coming to you and taking drink and food orders.
Case in point, can you name a big movie that's opening on Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day?
Yes, but I can't remember. There
Didn't that
is
used to
one-
be
there-
that was the thing?
It was the thing, right?
Yeah. I have no
I
idea.
don't know. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
Nope.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we'll talk more about Guns and Hoses. It's tonight, and Steve Hawley will join us on the show.
Weeknights at 6. It's Sports Open Line.
Welcome into the program. My name is Matt Pauley.
Matt gets you inside the world of sports. Cardinals, Chiefs, Pelicans. You'll get it all and much more.
We have an exclusive podcast that's Cardinals related.
Plus great guests, insight, and conversations with you.
If you want to join us, you can do so by calling or texting.
Sports Open Line. You don't want to miss it. Weeknights at 6 on America's Sports Voice. KMOX.
KMOX News Time is 12:29. Donate a car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-5555. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, behind on taxes houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-5555. That's 314-782-5555.
30, it's sunny and 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. A punishing new barrage of Russian strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure has caused power outages across large parts of the country, as well as neighboring Moldova, piling more damage onto Ukraine's already battered power network and adding to the misery for civilians as winter begins. Tens of millions of Americans are traveling for Thanksgiving despite inflation and high gas prices.
None of us have money to throw away, but I do think we want to get away from just that same routine. And of course, holiday times, you want to be with the people you love. So I think we all just kind of make the sacrifices we need to make to be with who we want to be with.
It's estimated some 55 million Americans will travel to be with family and friends this week. The Marching Mizzou took part in the Today Show this morning ahead of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. 350-piece band taking over the Today Show set in Plaza.
Marching Mizzou. Wait, the Marching Mizzou? The Marching Mizzou.
The Marching Mizzou.
The Marching Mizzou. Let's go!
Founded in 1885 as a college military band, started with 12 members, today with 350. It's the largest student organization at the University of Missouri in Columbia. There's a crash on 6440 going west on the ramp from Boyle. Stall 270 south at 44 on the right shoulder. Stall 270 south at 370 on the right shoulder. And the weather is sponsored by United States Air Force Band of Mid-America Holiday Concert. Sun mixing with clouds this afternoon, high 60 to 64 degrees. Some clouds overnight and some rain as well with a low 45. Some light rain or drizzle tomorrow as well with a high of 52. It's 61 degrees at the moment downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Get into the spirit of the season with a free holiday concert by the U.S. Air Force Bands of Mid-America at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center on Friday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. Free tickets at twohill.org. That's twohill.org.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. If having turkey for the holidays, buy from a local farm, get one labeled USDA organic or certified humane. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hello, my name is Chad with ClaymanGroup.com. I have another happy client of ours that just sold their house as is.
Hey, my name is Tish. I called a real estate agent first. They told me I had to do like 75 things just to prepare my house for sale. I called the Clayman Group and spoke with Chad and his team, and they bought my house when I had to do anything at all.
If you want a simple solution to your real estate needs as well, reach out today. Clayman, KLAMEN Group.com. KLAMEN Group.com.
Get ready for men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take on Paul Quinn. Hear the game here. Pre-game 6:47, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball, KMOX.
Amy and Chris on the show on KMOX. Good to have you with us today.
And right now, we're going to welcome in Steve Holly, the executive director of Guns and Hoses. He joins us on the Quiver River guest line because Guns and Hoses is tonight at Enterprise. And Steve, I know it's sold out, no surprise, and it's going to be a heck of an event tonight, as it always is.
Hey, Chris and Amy, thanks for having me. We are going to rock this town tonight with the 35th annual Budweiser Guns and Hoses.
Unbelievable. I love it. And Guns N' Hoses raises money for Backstoppers. And Backstoppers, of course, is that extraordinary organization that helps the families of first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty or catastrophically injured in the line of duty. Just incredible work that the Backstoppers does. And Guns N' Hoses is the single largest fundraising event each year for that organization. Steve, how much money has Guns N' Hoses raised for Backstoppers over the years?
Since 1987, I am happy to announce that we have raised approximately $10 million to support those families of fallen officers that have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Wow. It's so amazing. And again, what Backstoppers does when a first responder is killed in the line of duty, they step in right away with a check to help pay for any immediate expenses. They help pay off homes. They help make payments for the children's college education. And then also other first responders, they are involved with the families' lives. They show up at the kids' baseball games, the soccer games. It is an ongoing support system.
Yeah, it's very unique. Other organizations around the country have tried to duplicate it, but they haven't been quite as successful as ours. Last year, we raised $1 million for the first time. So we're shooting for $1,001 this year. We're going to give the public the opportunity to donate. We will be on live TV on Fox 2 from 7 till 9. And we will be bringing back the telethon. So, $5, $10, anything that anybody can donate, 100% of that donation will go to the Backstoppers to support those families. And this year, unfortunately, we are honoring 7 officers that have been killed in the line of duty since last year.
I was 10 when this event started, and I remember it being kind of a big deal. And, when you're 10 years old, you don't have a great memory of everything, but I do recall this whole thing blowing up in that first couple of years. So going back to 1987 and where it is now, how has this changed? How has this event progressed over those years?
Well, for those folks that are a little older, I'll make a reference to what they used to call it. We used to be called the Gong Show in the Ring. So if you remember the Gong Show,
yeah.
and there used to be more fights in the crowd than there was in the ring.
So it got a little rowdy, you're saying, Steve?
It got rowdy. So then we started adulting. 9/11 was kind of a turning point, really. Because 9/11 opened so many eyes about first responders. It was a big turning point for us. We went from being a small event to being a major event. And back in those days, we used to do 23 fights, sing the national anthem, and hope we could get enough people in there to present trophies. Now we charge people $10,000 to give a trophy away, and we're sold out. Wow. We have live music. We have a telethon. If they watch on TV, they're going to see 2 surprises that their jaws are going to drop. So we've turned this into a production. It's much more than a boxing event. We are very family friendly. We want everybody to come. It is the biggest beer drinking night in St. Louis. That's a title that we've held since 1987. So we're proud of that. It's New Year's Eve for first responders.
Yeah. Steve,
and we want them to have a good time.
Absolutely. And it really is a production. It's so well done. The way that it has grown is really breathtaking. And I know we'll get more into that, the production side of things, how people can watch it on Fox 2, the telethon. But going back to the beer drinking, you guys have been the #1 beer drinking event at Enterprise. Wasn't there was one event that upstaged you one year? It was a concert, right?
The KISS concert took our crown, and we worked diligently to get that crown back.
All right.
Good for you guys.
I want to. Who gives you the numbers? Like, who gives you the statistics on the beer sales?
I get them from Levy. Yeah,
okay.
I get them from Levy and
so these
Enterprise.
Are official.
These are official numbers.
I love it. They're not just throwing around. This is not a meaningless crown. This is backed up.
This is St. Louis. This is Budweiser.
That's right.
I worked at Anheuser-Busch for 26 years.
Yeah. And unlike the World Cup, you can get all the Budweiser you want at Guns and Hoses tonight.
Oh, you know, if we told them they couldn't have any Budweiser, we wouldn't have any. I don't even think the workers would show up because I give them Budweiser after we're done.
Well, yeah.
You've got to do that. So, Steve, with the production, with the show being aired live, Fox 2, 7 to 9, are you still doing some fights before 7 o'clock? And then when does the telethon start so people can start donating?
From 5:30 to 7, we will be doing what we call the undercard. That will feature 6 bouts with first responders, and we'll have all the hoopla going. The telethon will actually start then. At 7 o'clock, we'll go live on Fox, and then we will have our end of watch ceremony, which that's a live ceremony presentation to honor the fallen responders. And this year, we're lucky enough to have our good friend Joe Buck. He will be delivering that opening ceremony on TV live.
Oh, very
It'll
nice.
happen about 5 after 7.
Very, very great. Nice. And then also on the broadcast will be KMOX's own Tom Ackerman. He'll be there as well, right?
Tom Ackerman is the anchor. Chris Pronger. Joe's going to join us in the booth, and Jesse Finney. And let's not forget, you will be in the ring.
I will.
She's boxing.
Medals to our boxers. Last year was your rookie year, so we signed you to a 2-year contract. We brought you back, so we're excited to have you back. You'll be presenting what we call the Legends of Guns and Hoses, and that's a medal that we're presenting to all of the boxers, honoring our 35th year anniversary.
So, Steve, is there some sort of package that I could buy where I get to fight Amy?
You're so obnoxious.
What?
Well, it's all about one thing.
Okay.
Money.
Okay. Yeah.
So what he's saying is there's a price.
There is a price. We'll talk off the air.
We are a charity, and it's all about the money.
As should be. You guys, I love it. Steve's like, Chris, talk to me after this interview.
Yeah.
We'll figure something
we'll
out.
chat. But
bring your checkbook.
I don't carry checks. How's Venmo?
Venmo works.
There is and Steve, this is not really the end. Tonight is not the end of your duties. I mean, the Guns and Guns N' Hoses has the toy drive, which starts in a couple of days as well.
We've made a conscientious effort to expand our brand. So we used to just do Guns N' Hoses the night before Thanksgiving. So now we do the toy drive in December. We have the Hoedown, which was a huge success, the night before Easter. We have the Jack Martirelli Memorial Golf Tournament in May, and then we have what I call Guns N' Hoses for the females. It's our big gala in September. So, and all of the funds raised go to the Backstoppers. We're trying to make our brand more relevant and just get it top of mind. Hey, you think of first responders, let's support Guns N' Hoses.
Absolutely. And I am so honored to be part of this year's Guns N' Hoses. And like you said, handing out the anniversary medals. Last year, I was captain of the blue team, which was such a great honor. And this year, just down the hall, Julie Tristan at Y98, she'll be captain of the red team. I believe she is dating a young firefighter. And so she'll be the captain of the firefighters team.
Yes, we're happy to have Julie. She's excited, and she is dating a firefighter, so she has no pressure on her to bring home the victory, right?
That's right. It's
And,
serious, red versus blue, the firefighters and the police.
Oh, yeah, and Laura Simon from Fox is going to be the blue captain, and she has no pressure because Fox is our media partner. So, hey, we put pressure on wherever we can. We want people to deliver.
That's right.
And so the website, by the way, for anybody who wants more information on any of the events or to donate, you can still donate through the website. I mean, there's the telethon tonight, but you can also donate if you want to. It's STL Guns and Hoses, and that's N with an N, gunsandhoses.com. So STL gunsandhoses.com.
Steve, as you look... Oh, go ahead.
That'll give everybody any info they're looking for.
Yep.
Perfect. As you look back at the 35-year history of Guns N' Hoses, are there any moments that stand out to you as just extraordinary, whether because they're funny or touching or moving or mind-blowing?
Well, what's neat is after being with this for 35 years, I've made a lot of friends that help us, but I've seen some of the families that have suffered through the tragedies and watched their kids grow up and then have watched their kids succeed in life. So they grew up with a single parent, and now they're attorneys, teachers, peace officers. So that's pretty cool when you meet a kid that's unfortunately been traumatized because of the loss of a parent. 20 years later, all of a sudden they're very successful in the community. And, to coin a phrase, they don't forget where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
They are very welcome and very supportive of our organization. So that's probably the best thing is the relationships that have been developed with everybody. Our sponsors couldn't be greater. We have like 90 sponsors, and they're all willing to jump in and do what we try and do, obviously raise money. They come to the event. We treat everybody like kings. There isn't an event anywhere that treats people as good as we do. And I've heard that from people all around the country, not just St. Louis. So it's all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the relationships that we form and that we continue to grow.
Absolutely. Just such a great event. Guns N' Hoses has raised so much money for Backstoppers, an extraordinary organization that, again, helps the families of fallen first responders. This is Steve Hawley. He is the executive director of Guns N' Hoses. He joins us on the Quiver River guest line. And Steve, I know this is a super busy day for you, so we're going to let you go. We really appreciate your time, and I can't wait to see you tonight.
Well, thanks for having us. KMOX has been a longtime friend of the show, and we appreciate what you guys do. Chris, have a happy Thanksgiving, and Amy, I'll see you ringside this evening.
Love it.
Same
That
to you,
sounds
Steve.
good.
Thank you.
Really, really exciting. And again,
Yeah.
that starts the production. The show starts at 7 p.m. Joe Buck will be given the opening ceremonies on the broadcast. Fox 2, of course, our own Tom Ackerman will be alongside Chris Pronger and Jesse Finney for the call.
Any information you're looking for or to donate, you can do it online. STL Guns N' stlgunsandhoses.com. stlgunsandhoses.com. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. You're listening to the show on KMOX.
KMOX and Gateway Arch Park Foundation is thrilled to bring back Winterfest, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology. Now through January 1st on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Celebrate the magic of the season in downtown St. Louis. Enjoy ice skating, igloos, s'mores, holiday lights and music, a winter market, a New Year's Eve fireworks show, and so much more. All in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. More details at KMOX.com/events.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
So delicious in every bite. Dad's cookies, they taste so right.
Dad's cookies go mighty fast this time of year, so stock up next time you're shopping. And for an easy and unique gift for out-of-town family and friends, give them the sweet taste of a St. Louis tradition by ordering at dadscookies.com.
The taste made just for you.
And in stores everywhere.
Dad's Cookies.
dadscookies.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain-relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
The best part about taking ZQuil Pure Z's Sleep Plus Next Day Energy at night is actually the next morning. I wake up alert with none of the grogginess from taking too much melatonin. Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy is a bilayer tablet with immediate release melatonin and extended release B vitamins to help me fall asleep naturally and wake refreshed. It's my secret weapon for a great night's sleep and a great morning.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Can't beat that.
ZQuil Pure Z's gummies. Sleep better, wake your best.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000. Home Sweet Home mission is to give underserved families a sense of pride and to improve the quality of their lives by providing basic household furnishings. To learn more, go to homesweethomestl.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444. They're back.
Three best friends. The three amigos.
Yeah. Kevin, Chris, and Amy. The show.
Text us whenever you want. Whenever you want. 314-436-7900. That's the number to call. Also, if just for whatever reason you feel like having a phone conversation with us, you could do that. Why is that funny? You can voicemail us.
Yeah, you
can. If you just want to
can.
drop us a line, you want to say something, 944-1120. That's 314-944-1120. A text message here from a 636.
Okay.
Why do you guys on the show have to be such jerks to each other?
Oh.
Also, it's probably the number one reason why I no longer listen.
Wow.
Even though
How
it's
does he-
amazing. How do they know?
How do they know if
How
they're
do
not
they know
listening?
we're being jerks if they're not listening? I don't know.
That is really interesting. You know what's
I'm impressed.
amazing? The people who hate the show the most and complain about the content the most are the people that don't listen, which is
I know
interesting.
it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it.
Are they getting reports? Like they're not listening, but someone is saying, hey.
No. I think they just know.
Oh.
Clairvoyance.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You're just aware of it. You know how like when you're at home and you get this bad feeling, like something bad has happened. You can call it the force if you want. Same thing. They're at home and they know that we're talking bad about each other.
And here's the thing. We're not being jerks. Ranji is not being a jerk. Ranji is a jerk.
Yeah.
He's just being himself.
Right.
Like he doesn't have a choice.
And when the job started, they told me, hey, just be you. And I said, oh, okay. I know how to do that.
Yeah. And so I don't know, what he's supposed to do about that.
Yeah. And Amy is super lame.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do?
Right. I mean, listen, am I supposed to tee it up and not swing?
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
There's a huge ball there, and I have a giant bat. Do I hit it or not?
Right. Hey, I have a question. And
I have one more.
Ugh.
I have one more.
Okay.
We asked people to tell us what they absolutely have to have at Thanksgiving. Food, people, whatever.
Whatever.
And something they absolutely cannot have, and it can't be anywhere near their Thanksgiving celebration. And instead, all people have done is text us possum recipes.
I know. And raccoon. And turtles.
Stuff.
Who are these people? Who's
I
eating possum and raccoon on Thanksgiving?
Here's one from a 314. If you get a chance, try squirrel and dumplings. What is going on here?
You know what I think? I think there's a disconnect between us and our listening base.
Texter from a 314. Possum, raccoon, and turtle, probably closer to the original Thanksgiving than what we serve today.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, that probably is true.
Yeah.
The Pilgrims, they were probably not hunting turkey, were they?
Yeah, I think they were.
Were they?
I think so. Wild turkey. I don't know if they ate squirrels. I've never seen a squirrel on a pilgrim painting before.
I haven't either. They're too little.
They're too
They're
little.
too hard to catch.
Okay, guys, I need people. Ranji does not have my back on this one. So if you are listening, I need your help. And if you're from St. Louis, I need your help. 314-436-7900. I'm desperate here. I have been trying to convince this guy over here, sitting to my left, Chris Ranji, that there is a divide, a psychological divide in St. Louis that separates those who live east of 270 and those who live west of 270. And those who live west of 270 have very little problem going east of 270 when they need to. But those who live east of 270 will never go west. And if they do, they complain about it and how far away it is. And then there's the very far west of 270, and that would be the Wildwood area. And anybody who lives in Wildwood will talk about, okay, I'm out here. I'm out by 109. 109 is the point of reference. 109 is the Stan Musial statue of Wildwood. It just is. It connects Chesterfield Valley to Eureka. It runs north to south. It cuts across Manchester Road, which is Highway 100 at that point. But it's 109. And if you know 109, if someone says 109, then you feel seen. So I was talking to my friend about this the other day. He lives in Tower Grove. Tower Grove Park. And I was talking about growing up out west. And he goes, oh, by 109. And I felt seen. And I was like, yes, he knows what I'm talking about. He knows where I live. And as it turns out, he has no idea. He heard the word 109. A friend referenced it. And he says now, whenever he's talking to someone from West County, he uses the phrase 109 so that they stop explaining where they live.
Let me stop you because other than this friend you're talking about,
Yes.
I feel like all your evidence is anecdotal evidence.
You know what? I give you data. I give you research.
That's not data. That's anecdotal.
No, this
data.
is anecdotal. I have receipts. I have all kinds of receipts.
You have a receipt.
No,
I've never heard of
314-436-7900.
109. I grew up here.
No, you didn't.
I live here. Yes,
you
I
grew up
did.
in Granite City.
My grandmother lived in Baldwin. I spent all kinds of time in my childhood at my grandmother's house.
No, you have no idea what you're talking about.
I worked for a couple of summers in Chesterfield Valley. I've never heard of 109.
And you don't know West County.
No.
Folks,
Yes, I do.
I need your help. This guy.
109 is not a thing.
using 109
Dave,
is
you
the,
ever heard of 109?
is the stand
Yeah,
usual.
I lived out there.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
live there. Only people who live there know what it is. Tyler, you know what it is? Tyler has no clue.
Tyler's barely alive.
What? Final hour of the show coming up on KMOX.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. If you have a furnace, boiler, air handler, or heat pump that needs service, repairs, or might need to be replaced, contact us at aircomfortservice.com. We offer 24/7 emergency service, maintenance plans to keep your system operating at maximum efficiency, and free estimates if your heating system barely made it through last winter. Get in your comfort zone and heat your home safely this winter with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Contact us at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Caring for residents for over a century, Manor Grove is committed to making everyone feel at home. Choosing a home for your loved one to reside is an important decision and shouldn't be taken lightly. Manor Grove makes your decision easy with medical professionals and staff who care for residents like family. If you are looking for a caring and quality nursing home and rehab facility, please visit our website, manorgrove.com, and take our virtual tour. Manor Grove, over a century of caring. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
All right. Funny story today. What happened at the office? I was trying to shred. It didn't do it. There was no noise. It wasn't doing anything. And Michelle, who is works in the office, she is truly a great employee. She goes, oh yeah, but sometimes if you shake it, she got up, she walked over and she shook it. She goes, now try it. And I put the document in, it worked. And she goes, see, there, fixed. That's the reason she's in the office and she's not one of my techs. That is true. So today, Wednesday, I'm gonna make this month every Wednesday. It's gonna be Michelle Day. Keep up the good work. Now, if you do need something fixed, it will not be Michelle that will be coming out. It'll be me and one of my great techs. So call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. Just this one number and one name. 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Be a part of St. Louis's newest holiday tradition at the Rep. Journey into the magical wonderland of the timeless classic, A Christmas Carol. Performances November 18th through December 30th. Tickets on sale at repstl.org.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Police in Chesapeake, Virginia say an employee opened fire on fellow workers in the break room of a Walmart store last night, killing 6 people before taking his own life in the country's second high-profile mass shooting in 4 days.
Virginia's governor noted it's the second mass shooting in the state in recent weeks. Earlier this month, a gunman killed 3 people at the University of Virginia.
That absolutely brings with it a sense of anger, a sense of fear, a sense of deep, deep grief.
Walmart tweeted that it was shocked at this tragic event. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Chesapeake, Virginia.
Over the river and through the woods, it's a day of travel and waiting for travelers to arrive.
This is Kevin Killeen at the Amtrak station downtown, where they're waiting from the train coming in from Chicago to bring a load full of Thanksgiving travelers, and Bill Becker is here awaiting the arrival of your son, 36-year-old son. What does it mean to see him get off that train?
Well, it's very exciting. I think Amtrak's great. And I love seeing the train get in. If it's on time, Brian's come down to be with his nephews and my grandkids, and we're all going to get together, eat, and maybe even play some golf on Friday.
And that's the way it is all over St. Louis. Everybody's in motion to get to that Thanksgiving table. 21,000 travelers going through Lambert Airport alone this day before Thanksgiving.
I'm Glenn Schuck in New Jersey, where Thanksgiving travel is certainly in high gear on the roads. The Garden State Parkway packed well before dawn. What kind of mood are people in?
Thanksgiving is a time to give thanks and just be thankful for what you have in life.
Well, there's a lot of people driving crazy, extra fast to get nowhere quicker.
And those stopping here for gas, $3.90 a gallon for regular at the James Gandolfini service area, where the weather is calm and dry, but a little chilly. Glenn Schuck for CBS News, Montvale, New Jersey.
And AAA predicts over 54 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home this Thanksgiving. Parson makes his pick.
We are beyond excited to announce Andrew Bailey will be the next Attorney General of the state of Missouri.
Governor Mike Parson made the announcement alongside Bailey and his family, including his wife and 4 children. Andrew Bailey replaces Eric Schmidt after Schmidt won his U.S. Senate race. Bailey was on staff for Parson as general counsel. He worked as the general counsel for the Missouri Department of Corrections before that. Georgia counties will be able to hold early voting this Saturday in the Senate runoff election between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker.
It's the only possible Saturday for early voting before the runoff on December 6th. Republicans had objected, citing state law that says early in-person voting is not allowed on a Saturday if the Thursday or Friday before is a holiday. Since Thanksgiving is tomorrow, the state and GOP groups said that includes this Saturday. Democrats argued the ban does not apply to runoff elections. The state Supreme Court has left in place a lower court ruling allowing the voting to happen this Saturday. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, Black Friday just isn't what it used to be pre-pandemic, according to Retail Me Not editor Kristen McGrath.
Last year really conditioned customers to start shopping early because we had all those supply chain issues. Retailers were telling shoppers that they weren't going to get their stuff for Christmas unless they shopped weeks early. So instead of becoming the first day of the holiday shopping season, Black Friday's almost become the last round.
And the Dow from Stifel's up 124 points to 34,222. And right now on the roads, we've got a stalled vehicle 270 north at Page. That's on the left shoulder. Also a stall 6440 going east on the ramp from Papin. And we've got a stall 270 south at 44, 270 south past 370 on the right shoulder as well. Weather is sponsored by Metro Transit.
It's going to be a nice mild afternoon. Highs up to 60 to 64. Sun, some clouds mixing in. Showers then later tonight into tomorrow. It's chillier and damp tomorrow, the high 52. Sun breaks out on Friday, high 53. Chilly rain on Saturday, low 50s. And then sunny breaks, low 50s Sunday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Click over to the free transit app and get $28 off a MetroLink November or December monthly Metro Pass through the end of the year. Save $12 when you download the app and buy a weekly Metro Pass. You can get $28 off your monthly Metro Pass wherever you normally buy it. Previously discounted passes excluded. It's partly cloudy and 62 in Florissant, 64 in St. Peters, and 62 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
The World Cup 2022 is happening right now in Qatar. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on the show, and Missouri Sports Hall of Famer Bill McDermott, who is a soccer prodigy, is joining us now on the show on KMOX. And first of all, Bill, thanks for being with us this afternoon. How you doing?
Hi, Chris. How about you? Amy, how you doing?
Doing well.
We are doing
By the way,
great.
Amy, I live at
here we go.
Highway 40.
Yes.
I live at Highway 40 and McKnight for a distinct reason.
Okay.
Yes. No need to go out to 109.
See? Thank you, Bill. Bill, did you even?
I just want to feel seen, Bill. I just want to feel seen.
Have you even heard of 109 before today?
Yes, because it was John Kennedy's PT boat. That's the only way I know of it.
You know what? Both of you could just go.
Hey, no, Bill, you stay because
Okay.
we have things to talk to you about.
Yes, sir.
The first things first, though. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Give us
Mhm.
something that you absolutely require on Thanksgiving and something that you do not want near your party.
Turkey excluded.
Turkey
cannot
excluded.
be an answer.
Can't be part of it.
Oh, it cannot be part
Can't
of
be part
it.
of the answer.
Because I'm not really wild. I don't know about the both of you, but I'm not really wild about turkey.
I get that.
In any way, it would have to be dark meat. But nonetheless, since that's not a part of the answer, one thing I would like to have is mashed potatoes. I mean, that's very pedestrian. I understand that. But another thing that I do not care for, and this is highly unusual, because my father was a produce broker, and he brought home every imaginable type of fruit and produce. I mean, I knew what a rutabaga and a pomegranate was before that was even in the dictionary. But no thank you. No thank you to the candied sweet potatoes.
Oh,
no thanks.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
agree.
I think Bill and I are the same person.
Yeah,
Don't
you-
really
definitely
care for
agreeing,
turkey
Chris,
that
yes.
much. Yes, thank you so much, Bill.
Wow. It is a divisive dish, this candied
Very
sweet
much so.
potatoes, because they're so sweet. And then there are marshmallows on
The
top.
marshmallows. What are we doing?
That's a tradition in my family.
No good.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
All
And
right.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but you could also include like people that you don't want at
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving too. I mean, it could have been anything. A chair that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if there's one thing that is absolutely mandatory that I would love to have back, and my family would say the same thing, is our deceased daughter. But that's not going to happen. So we'll just stick with the turkey then.
Well, we hope, Bill, that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. But let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. Before we get to the United States game on Friday, which I've already declared will be an upset. What happened yesterday with Saudi Arabia? That's really something.
Very much so. It just goes to show you that Saudi Arabia, ranked right now 51st in the world, can overtake anybody. And that includes Argentina, who is ranked 3rd in the world with arguably the world's best player and Lionel Messi. It just so happened in this particular game, in key moments, Saudi Arabia was a better team, and their goalkeeper, Mohamed Al-Awais, was out of his mind. Now, Argentina did score 3 other goals, all of which were disallowed because of an offside ruling. I think 2 of them were accurate, 1 was not. But nonetheless, and irrespective, Argentina lost their first game at the 1990 World Cup when they were upset again, but this time by Cameroon, a real outsider, when they were holders of the World Cup from 1986. And they then went on to go to the final. So it is still feasible, but it's only happened one time in the history of the World Cup that a team that has lost their very first game has gone on to win the World Cup. That was in 2010 when Spain won. So it's a dramatic upset, but it just goes to show you that in the world of soccer, it's called a minnow against an immense whale. And sometimes the minnows, because this is a goodly portion of the way that many people in these respective smaller countries identify with their nationalism. It's through their national teams in the World Cup to show people that, yes, we can indeed participate and play with the world's best.
It's just extraordinary. And I don't think I realized the significance of that game, of the upset, until again, we saw that Saudi Arabia had only won 1 game at the World Cup since 1998. Yep. They have declared today a national holiday because of the victory over Argentina. And it's considered one of the greatest shocks in the tournament's history that goes back 92 years. And when you look at Saudi Arabia, they started this tournament with the longest odds. They were 1,000 to 1 going into this World Cup. So do you see this then as a one-off and Argentina will just recover and be just fine? Or is there a possibility that this really throws a hiccup in their game?
I think Argentina will definitely recover. Their players are too much of a world-class personnel, Amy. I really think so. But you're right about Saudi Arabia. I mean, their first World Cup was 1994, the World Cup here in the United States. And everybody is going on and on about the fact that Saudi Arabia upsets Argentina. Yes, they did. And it's a dramatic upset. But it still pales in comparison, I think, to the United States defeating England in 1950. And that's why the game coming up Friday, there are people in England who are still wary of the United States. Oh, don't forget, they beat us on June 29th, 1950 in Belo Horizonte in Brazil.
Wow.
And there was only 10,121 people, and 5 St. Louisans were on the team. But that's still, I think, of all the upsets in World Cup history. I mean, North Korea beat Italy in the 66 World Cup, and as I mentioned, Cameroon beat Argentina. But this one, a big upset, yes, but still the United States, England is the top of the list for me.
All right, so let's talk about this United States England, which will happen on Friday. Like I said, I've declared the upset. It's happening. Am I wrong?
I think the United States, that they do indeed have a chance. They do indeed have a chance, Chris, because of what's happening in this particular World Cup. Now, one thing to be cautious about, 4 players for the United States are playing on yellow cards, which means they get another yellow, they would have to sit out the last game of the first round against Iran, which may indeed be absolutely key to this tournament, depending upon what goes on tomorrow. But nonetheless, England is considered the 4th favorite to win the World Cup after Brazil, Argentina, and France. The United States was 16th longest odds. But the United States, because of some of the players that are playing literally around the world now, and in particular, players like Tim Ream from St. Louis, who's starting at left center back and should continue to start. He plays against these players from England on a regular basis. Now, some of the forwards for the United States are going to have to step up and play much better games. Christian Pulisic, case in point. Now, he did engineer the United States goal against Wales, and it was fabulous. But nonetheless, if he's going to wear number 10 for the United States, he has to be an integral part of every piece of offense that the United States puts forward in this game. So if Pulisic can be in form, we're not sure if Josh Sargent's going to be in the first 11 again. Gio Reyna may get a shot. Timothy Weah played well. The United States was fairly strong at midfield. But given what's going on in this World Cup and what has happened in World Cups past, yes, the United States has a definite shot. However, as we look at the first 11s and the depth of these respective teams, England does indeed have the better personnel. With a player like Jude Bellingham is only 19, making his mark in his first World Cup. Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, players like that who are electric on offense. So going in, yes, England is clearly the favorite team.
Bill, you talked about the disallowed goals in the Argentina game, the yellow cards for the United States. Just in general, what do you think of the officiating so far, the referees in this World Cup?
So far, so good. Now, the fact that I brought up the offside thing is simply because one of the things that the assistant referees, formerly known as linesmen, are supposed to do is err on the side of the attacking player. That seldom, if ever, happens. It seems like every AR in every game in the world, irrespective of whether it's a World Cup or a league game or any kind of a game, they just can't wait to get involved in the game by calling an offside in a key moment where ever so slightly a hand, a shoulder, an arm is in front of the last defender. Play on. You can't score a goal with your arm or your hand or your shoulder. So leave it alone. But now, VAR does indeed prove scientifically the accuracy of the referee on the field. And so far, so good. But most importantly, with reference to that point, is that, Amy, it's not taking nearly as long as it used to with the introduction of the VAR, the video assist recording, since it first came on. Sometimes it'd be 2-3 minutes. Can we get on with this? But it seems it's okay right now. There have been no dramatic decisions either one way or another that has affected the outcome of a game. That is what you do not want, a game to be won or lost because of a decision by a referee.
Last thing, Bill, before we say goodbye today, and just about the place of the U.S. in this tournament now, the tie on Monday, how much of a setback is that really?
Not, believe me, Chris, not nearly as dramatic as a loss would have been. And in those waning stages, it looked like Wales had really taken that. They were off the leash, every one of them, and they were determined to get the 3 points. So at least you get 1 point from that game. Now, this literally, as I mentioned just a moment ago, this literally can come down to that last day of competition on the 29th. And all these games are played at the same time. So there's no nonsense going on, as has happened in way in years past. So Wales against England at 1 o'clock, Iran against the United States. And again, it all depends on the outcome of Friday's games, and you'll know, the United States will know, because Wales plays before them on Friday. Wales plays the early game at 4 a.m. United States, not till 1 o'clock. So they'll have a definite feel as to what they have to do.
Bill, appreciate your time as always.
Sure.
And again, when the United States does win on Friday, you know who to credit.
I'm going to say you were the first one.
That's right.
Yes, I will.
Thanks very much,
All
Bill
right.
McDermott.
Thanks,
And
Bill.
no food fights down there because of Thanksgiving.
No, we won't be doing that.
Okay.
I promise.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
That is Bill McDermott, again, Missouri Sports Hall of Famer, joining us here on the show. Do you have something? You looked at me like you had something.
No, I'm going to tell people about the Salvation Army, though.
Okay, why don't you do that right now?
I would love to, because it is my favorite time of year. It's the Christmas season. And for a lot of families, it can be pretty stressful, especially families that are struggling financially, they're having to make that choice. Okay, are we buying groceries? Are we paying the bills? How am I going to buy any gifts for my child? Well, the Salvation Army Angel Tree Program has been helping kids since 1979, helping to make Christmas come true, make Christmas happen for a child who otherwise might not have a gift to open on Christmas morning. And in fact, last year alone in the greater St. Louis area, the Salvation Army Angel Tree Program helped 4,000 kids in this area have gifts to open on Christmas, and they need your help. I need your help. Now, you may see the angel trees around the St. Louis area at shopping malls, organizations, churches, businesses. And on those trees are little paper ornaments. And each paper ornament has the name of a child with that child's specific list of Christmas wants and needs. You can also go to salarmymidland.org and click on Adopt an Angel. Now, they will also online give you that specific list of Christmas wants, Christmas needs from a child in need. Then you go shopping for that child, and the Salvation Army makes sure that they get that gift. They have a gift to open on Christmas morning. It's such a great way for the community to come together to help support the families right here in your community, in your neighborhood. There's about a week left in the program, so you don't want to wait. salarmymidland.org.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988. There is hope. The Lifeline works. 988 for 24/7 confidential support. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
What was that? If you find yourself asking that question more and more often, do yourself a favor and get your hearing checked today at the Audiology Center. Dr. Colleen Bosler has a doctorate in audiology, the most thorough hearing assessment test, and the top-of-the-line hearing aids. The Audiology Center with 3 locations, Creve Coeur, St. Peters, and Florissant. Call today, 636-441-7470, or find Dr. Bosler online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Rachel and Dave here for Smart Mouth. Smart Mouth is simply the only mouth rinse you ever need to think about again. Unlike Scope, unlike Listerine, it actually has a chemical reaction that kills bad breath for 12 hours. Use it twice a day and you are covered.
There's so many Smart Mouth products to choose from. They have their dry mouth rinse, their clinical DDS, their original formula, plus whitening toothpaste, and their delicious mints. To learn more, go to smartmouth.com/Glover for a $2.50 off coupon.
Connect with KMOX on air, online, 11:20 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Hey, we upgraded Kevin.
We have a new Kevin.
Yeah, we upgraded Kevin during the break, and joining us now is Kevin Killeen from the newsroom.
The best Kevin.
Oh, thank you. You guys have got a good show going here. I heard the thing about the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of when we had a drum set, a Tony the Tiger drum set that popped before lunchtime, and just the hope and the joy that people have to give Christmas gifts. Or you give them a little model kit and they get a glue thumbprint on the windshield of a Ford Mustang. I mean, Christmas gifts, people need things that they can hope in. Or you take like a Barbie doll from your sister and put a firecracker in the grip of that Barbie and light it, and then knock on the window and say, "Patty, look at this." So it's a time of joy.
Did you actually do that to your sister?
Yeah.
What kind of firecracker was it?
Just a little kit. What are the black cat? Little black cat.
Yeah. And did it, was she charred?
No, that was just a passing incident. We won't even mention it. But I'm really excited about this holiday. I've been driving around the city talking to people at the train station, the Amtrak station, and the Soulard Market. Soulard Market smells wonderful.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's like smells like stuffing. There's a spice shop there.
Oh,
and the train station, it's like a little Lionel set. You know, the little silver and blue and red Amtrak pulls in, and people get off the station with purple hair, and they're coming in to be with their family, and they got the knapsack. And yeah, I'm from DePauw University. I said, "Can you get a good steak on the train?" No, they give you crackers though, and a little plastic wrapping. And at Soulard Market, they had a jazz blues player, Brian Young. I'm ready, and people are picking up their sweet potatoes. You ask me what I don't like about Thanksgiving. It's the sickeningly sweet potatoes. Have you ever?
That's what Bill McDermott said.
Yeah, there was an ethic there in the '60s, right after Kennedy was shot. They came up with this idea: let's sweeten everything. And they take this it's like a municipal swimming pool, a Pyrex dish full of mashed up, pureed sweet potatoes, which are good by themselves. And they just douse them with saccharin. And then they put these little like alien pods of marshmallows strategically around the top and melt them. Just sickeningly sweet. But it's a great holiday.
Is it your favorite holiday?
I think it is. Although I have a complaint, and my wife and I go over this every year. You know that Norman Rockwell painting of Thanksgiving? It shows the man at the head of the table, and there's gathered around him a discrete group of about maybe 10 or 12 people. It's not a mob scene of the Killeens or my in-laws. You know, my wife's from a family of 8, and it's basically like Kazakhstan getting together to buy bread, whenever they have a meeting. There's so many of them. There's no intimacy. Kazakhstan. I don't even know if that's a country, but you know what I mean? The pilgrims, the pilgrims, when they started this thing, they would sit together in an intimate group and they'd say, "Chief, pass that drumstick," And it wasn't this overwhelming, chaotic, cross-pollinization of the sister-in-laws. They get together in the kitchen. They're like little insects rubbing their antennas together. And the brother-in-laws, who don't really know what to talk about, it's like they're trying to start a lawnmower that has no gas in it. The conversation just won't start. What do you think about the team this year? I don't know. But cut to the kitchen, and the sister-in-law is like, So it's a robbery of the original intent of the holiday to have just an intimate group of your biological herd, the ones that you care for, your unit gathered around you, and you can say, what are you thankful for? And when are you going to pay me that money you owe me? Just things that come up.
And then you eat raccoon.
Have you ever eaten raccoon?
No. Have you? Is it any good?
No, but apparently our listeners are eating raccoon and possum and squirrel on Thanksgiving.
And turtle soup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all food is honorable. But I've never have had it. I guess a raccoon is a little bit gamey.
I would think so.
It's sort of the carp of crawling animals. I mean, they eat out of garbage cans.
I know. I thought, aren't they a little diseasey?
Well, every animal is, probably.
Yeah.
If you had to take your chances with a raccoon or a chicken, what would you do?
That's like a Trish Gazelle question. Would you rather be an astronaut or a beautician? I don't know. But if we had to eat something out of the yard, we've been feeding our birds, which is another way of saying we feed our squirrels.
Yeah.
If society collapses, we've got some good fat squirrels.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
And some of them will, like if you go to a college campus, for whatever reason, at college campuses, the squirrels are the friendliest. They will come up to you.
Well, that's because kids sit there on the benches and feed them.
Ah, that must be it.
Yeah. They've never felt the pellet gun at the paw.
No, they...
I used to be at war with our squirrels.
Did you?
Yeah, we had Squirrel War 3. But it ended peacefully when El Hombre cut down the overhanging trees.
Oh my gosh, you're right. El Hombre did cut down the trees.
And then it's amazing. You can go from fearing and hating an animal that could chew your electrical wires and burn down your house while you're sleeping to just, throwing them birdseed and you feel better about them. But you still have plans about the butter melting down their thigh as you roast them.
Kevin, I told you we upgraded. Kevin, you're the best.
You're the best.
I haven't given you any information, but I'm glad to say happy Thanksgiving. It is the best.
You're listening to the show.
Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein.
We have fired Nancy Pelosi.
This evidence raises troubling questions about whether President Biden is a national security risk.
We'll continue to bolster Ukraine's armed forces.
For the news that happens next.
The explosion in Poland.
Russia responsible.
The shootings occurred on a bus full of students.
Before you hear it anywhere else.
The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants.
Will happen here.
World's biggest sporting event.
The World Cup. News Radio 1120. KMOX.
This is Debbie Monterey with a real estate update and some insight from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria told me that sitting on the sidelines may not be the best strategy moving forward in this continually shifting market. Homes aren't selling as quickly, and in most cases, price reductions are becoming pretty common. Gloria also said that earlier this year, with low inventory, sellers didn't need a strategy to sell homes because homes were listed and sold immediately. Now more than ever, it's crucial to have a proven strategy to get your home sold, and that's why I strongly suggest you call local real estate expert Gloria Liu before you list your home to get the absolute most money. Gloria is so confident that she will sell your home, she'll guarantee in writing upfront to sell it at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy your home herself. Learn more by calling Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
At 1:30, we've got a clear sky, 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. Last night in Chesapeake, Virginia, a shooter opened fire in a Walmart, killing 6 people. The gunman, identified as a former employee, is also dead. It comes just days after a mass shooting in Colorado. Clinical nurse manager Tracy Chandler is among those who've been helping to treat the victims.
It's always disheartening when you see unnecessary violence on this level.
4 students are injured from an apparent drive-by shooting shortly after their Philadelphia high school let out early for the day, all in stable condition and receiving hospital treatment. It's a stressful day of travel for tens of millions of Americans, including Manny Ruiz in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
So the anxiety,
the stress levels that are getting to your final destination is horrible.
And right now we've got a stalled vehicle 270 west before Elizabeth, and that's got the right lane closed. Also 270 north at Page in the left shoulder, 6440 east on the ramp from Papin. Watch out there. The forecast for this afternoon, sun mixing with clouds and a high of 60 to 64 degrees. Clouds and a little bit of rain overnight, the low 45. And tomorrow, damp and chilly with some light rain or drizzle on a few occasions and a high of 52 degrees. Right now it's 62 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Well, it has been a rough couple of years, especially for business owners who have faced challenges in the form of inflation, shutdowns, restrictions, supply chain issues. So if you feel like, you know what, I could use a little bit of a break, go to getrefunds.com. Getrefunds.com. You could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. Now, the way it works is the team of tax attorneys that they've put together, well, they're highly trained in this little known payroll tax refund program. They've already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. They do all the work. There's no charge up front. They simply share a percentage of the cash that they get for you. And that cash is a tax refund. It's not a loan. It's not a payback. It is a refund of your taxes. And all kinds of businesses can qualify, including those who took PPP, including nonprofits, and even businesses that saw an increase in sales. To find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and then answer a few questions. Getrefunds.com.
The holidays are here, but for some families, they'll spend that time at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. I'm Carol Daniel. KMOX, along with all of our sister stations at our company, Odyssey STL, are again proud to partner with you and other generous St. Louisans in our community to raise funds for the Tree of Hope campaign for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. It's so easy to give. Just text the word HOPE to 20357 or KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arnado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win.
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City.
We are America's sports voice. KMOX. It's Fun Police Friday. Friday on the show.
Wait a minute. It ain't Friday.
But it's effectively Friday.
It's
Chris,
our Friday.
I don't know if you
It's
know
our
this.
Friday.
I don't know if you know this. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So this is like a Friday.
well, this is good news.
I know.
This is like a Friday for us. We're off tomorrow.
And Friday.
we're off Friday.
Yeah.
So we don't have Fun Police on Friday.
But people should know that you want to join us on Monday because, again, it will be Chris Ranji and me from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then at 1 p.m., the Glover Show starts with an extravaganza of Glover and Wheeler, Rachel, Andrew, me, and Ranji. Every day from 1 to 2, it will be an extravaganza.
That's going to be something. And then the Glover Show starts at 2. And it will go until 5 o'clock. And then we're going back to like a total information PM kind of thing starting at 5.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it because, I mean, we all hang out in the office, we talk, we're chatting. And so I feel like the 1 o'clock hour will be just kind of how we are off the air too. Just hanging out.
Oh,
just
God.
talking.
You're really going to be in for it, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the number is 314-436-7900. If you want to tell us, well, we know you're going to have Thanksgiving plans.
Yes.
So what we're asking for today is something a little bit different. We've been asking the question all day, and this is just a continuation of it. What at Thanksgiving do you absolutely require at the table?
Food
And
or not. It could be anything.
whatever.
Person, a piece of furniture, a television show.
And what do you reject
Yeah.
at the table or want there to not be? You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
whether it's a person or a person.
Or a person.
It could be a person.
All right. So that's
314-436-7900. By the way, you know, it is Friday, and it's a thing that I have never one time in my life participated in, Black Friday.
Yep.
Have you ever done it?
No, because I would pay extra money not to have to stand in line or camp outside of Best Buy for a day.
You know,
Or to wake up. I mean, I wake up early. I have no problem waking up early. I'm not going to wake up at 2 a.m. to get in line at 3 a.m. to stand in line to save $20.
here's what I will say.
Yeah.
I can appreciate people who don't have very much. And the only way they can get certain things for certain people, because
Sure.
let's be honest, the holidays, Christmas it's a very consumer friendly, consumer driven
It's
holiday.
very
now.
commercial.
It is. And I think we've known that for a long time. So the expectation for a lot of people is a certain gift.
Mhm.
And maybe, your child wants something specific and it's very difficult to come by. And when you do come by it, it's extremely expensive. So I can appreciate people who need to save the money,
Mhm.
who don't really have any other choice other than can't do it at all and disappoint a family member or whatever. So I get that. But for me, there ain't no way in hell. No chance.
We
And I
had-
know people who love to
Right.
do it and get up early and go. And I can't get there.
And a lot of people who do it, because I agree, right? If it's critical savings, that's a big deal. But there are a lot of people who I think just love to freak out. I think as a nation, we like to freak out about things, and they like the rush of, I don't know, crushing against the doors of a Walmart and then rushing through the store. You've seen those videos of people getting trampled. It's so crazy. My goodness. The only thing that my family and I would do, and this was one of my dad's traditions when we were young, we would all pile into the car and go to the mall on Black Friday with no intent to shop or buy anything, but just to watch everybody else freaking out.
So, just so you could be like, see, we are better than those people.
No, it was just fun. He's like, you get in the Christmas spirit, but there's no pressure. We don't have to get all our shopping done that day, right? Like we pick a different day to go shopping or, go early, buy online, coupon clip, whatever you need to do. But on that day, because it's so chaotic, to be in the middle of the chaos but not participating is actually kind of fun.
I can get that, I guess. I've told you that my favorite day of the year to go to, and you and I are similar in this. We love malls for
Love
some
'em.
reason.
I went to
love
the
them
mall.
all.
I went to the mall
I love them.
last night.
Did you really?
I went to the Galleria yesterday. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I think I went to West County and Monday, maybe.
I love the mall.
I love it. It's so great.
It's great.
Yeah, big fan of the mall. I don't know why. I just love it.
know.
I love going on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was a kid, for whatever reason, I feel like I have to go to the mall for a little bit.
Are you pretty committed to that? Did you go last year? Although I guess it was COVID-y. Was it kind of COVID-y last year? I don't remember.
I don't remember if I went or not.
COVID kind of messed it up. It also changed the hours because here's what I loved about the mall pre-COVID. The mall would stay open till 11 or midnight during the Christmas season. I loved going to the mall after 10 o'clock. I would do that. I did that up until COVID. During the Christmas season in December, I went to the Galleria so many times after 10 o'clock.
Interesting.
Because it's kind of fun. You're shopping, it's late, they're extra, staying open late, extra hours. So yeah.
I love, because it usually closes at like 3 or 4 on Christmas Eve. And I love it because I don't know if you know this or not, but in a lot of ways, I'm a procrastinator. And I love to be under the crunch of having to get a gift, and I have like an hour to get it done.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's kind of fun.
I don't know why. It's stupid, but I like it.
I was at Best Buy at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve a few years ago. Why was I at Best Buy at 5 p.m.? Because I used to work at a running store, so I worked retail, and I always worked Christmas Eve because you could choose. Do you want to work the day before Christmas or do you want to work the day after Christmas? And I loved working Christmas Eve because people were in a good mood and it really slowed down in the afternoon too. And so we would close early. We'd close at 4. And then you'd close up the store. And then I would do my last minute shopping before going to Christmas Eve dinner. And I went to Best Buy and all the lines were so long at Best Buy. This was in Chesterfield Valley. The lines were so long except for one register kind of toward the end. There was only one guy in line, and I don't know why nobody else was in that line. So I walked to that line and stood behind the guy, and he wasn't moving. And then I looked in front of him, and I realized, oh, wow, there are 7 people in front of him that I couldn't see because the guy that I was standing behind was Orlando Pace, who was very big. So I couldn't see the line. There was a whole line. You couldn't see it.
So you just wonder, Amy.
It looked like the short line. I picked the short line. There was one guy, and all the other lines had a ton of people. So I stood behind him, and I kid you not, I could not see the line until I got up there.
So you thought he just was standing 7 people deep for no reason?
I don't know. Maybe I thought one person was checking out, right?
Okay.
And then he was the next person, but he wasn't the next person.
Text message coming in. I reject cranberries.
Fair.
Cranberry sauce? Yes. Horrible. Absolutely
Have
horrible. And that
you-
is mine.
The sound of the cranberries coming out of the can.
Oh, that's the best part of it.
That's awesome. And you cut along the can lines.
Also, a rejection of pumpkin pie.
That's un-American. That's
Who
a
rejects
citation.
pumpkin pie?
That's a citation.
pie!
Dude, I don't understand how you could ever say no to pumpkin pie.
You know, I think it's more divisive. I think it's people don't like to talk about like politics. I don't think they like to talk about their opinions on pumpkin pie because they're afraid they'll be judged and ostracized.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm going to break the ice for you.
Mhm.
I hate apple pie.
What?
Yeah.
Have you only had bad apple pie?
No, I don't like apple pie. I don't like warm apples. I don't like warm, mushy apples. I don't like apple sauce. It's gross.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I'm American, like apple pie. No.
Wow.
Apple pie is terrible.
That's a
Don't-
bad opinion.
Yeah, don't. No, apple pie is so bad.
Give me the phone number from the apple pie.
You want apple pie now?
Whatever it is, pumpkin pie.
Yes. I'll take the pumpkin pie, but apple pie, gross.
Huh.
I hate it.
Interesting.
I don't know why. Like, you're supposed to love it, right?
Yeah, you are. You know who has a really good apple pie? Well, my mom makes the best apple pie.
McDonald's.
No. My mom makes the best
McDonald's
apple pie.
used to have the apple pie. Do they still?
Probably.
They still make it?
Like in a pocket.
Yeah, it came in a little pocket,
Yeah.
in a little box.
Yeah. No, my mom makes the best apple pie, and I was anti store-bought apple pie, except for the smokehouse. Like the smokehouse pies, Annie Gunn's, the smokehouse. Their apple pies are unbelievable. The only store-bought pies that I think are, right up there with homemade.
Do they smoke them?
They don't smoke the apple pies.
We said smokehouse.
Well, that's the name of it.
314-436-7900. You know what I also like? I like if you have any family holiday gathering mishaps. Do you have any of those? Your family wouldn't.
Yeah. No, we did. So we had a Cocker Spaniel.
Hold on a second.
What?
We're going to tell that story when we come back.
Oh, my gosh.
314-436-7900. You are listening to the show.
And I would like to tell you about another great tradition, and that is STL Fenceworks. STL Fenceworks has been serving the St. Louis, St. Charles, Franklin, and Warren counties for over 50 years. That goes all the way back to 1971 when Russ and Carolyn Long opened the company, and now their son, Sean Timothy Long, STL, and STL Fenceworks, he runs the company. So when you're working with them, that they're family owned and operated, and they're locally owned and operated. And that means not once ever in their over 50-year history have they ever wavered in their commitment to a quality and customer first approach. When you work with STL Fenceworks, you can rest assured that your project will be completed by an experienced craftsman in a timely manner, and that their lifetime warranty reinforces their commitment to every single project. Their lifetime warranty surpasses anything else offered in the industry, whether they are building you a deck or a fence or any other leisure space project. They stand behind their work in the timely manner. That's extra important too, because STL Fenceworks is the #1 fence and deck contractor in the state of Missouri. And right now they have more supplies for fence and decks right now than they've had at any other time in their 50-year history. Visit them today at stlfenceworks.com.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want? I'll have an old fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever, only at Bartesian.com/cocktail.
With the weather the way it is right now, yeah, this is a very good time to get your eyes checked. Why is this a good time? Well, you might be experiencing dry eyes because the weather and the air is so dry at this time. And you could find out that maybe there's something else that really needs to be taken care of when you get your annual eye exam. And you should do it with the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. And here's what you want to do. Give them a call, schedule an appointment. 314-966-5000, and you'll get to one of the terrific doctors they have, Greg Birdie or Ranjan Malhotra, who I saw a few months ago, Robert Brusati and Andy Royer, and they'll go over what your issues might be, and maybe they'll pinpoint something you weren't sure you had, or maybe it was a condition that was so minor you didn't realize it was causing you some pretty big eye problems. Well, they'll take care of it. And whether it's a medical issue like diabetes or high blood pressure or something very simple like dry eye, they will give you a good explanation and a good treatment for it. So give the folks there a call. The number is 314-966-5000. You can also visit their website, youridoc.com.
KMOX News Time is 1:47. Donate a car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
The Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for the Holiday Food Drive. While supplies last, stop into any metro area Hardee's and make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS Holiday Bumper Sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. Get all the details about the campaign, or if you want to make an online donation, head to the KMOX.com events page now.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Do you know how much of your life savings you could lose in the next market downturn? Are you okay with the stock market controlling your financial future, or would you like to have more control? Hi. I'm Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Our team can stress test your retirement portfolio and give you the confidence to enjoy your retirement without having to worry about what the stock market is doing. Call 314-328-4400 today. That's 314-328-4400 and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-4400. Again, 314-328-4400.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Now your Bite This Network traffic report. It looks like every vehicle in the country is currently headed to Hardee's for a saucy A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99. You heard that right. Every single car, truck, and annoying electric scooter thing all heading to Hardee's. But don't take a detour. Hit the brakes on your hunger with a Charbroil Double Deal. Bite into the new A1 Double Cheeseburger for only $2.99, only at Hardee's. Tax not included. Available for limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price may vary. A1 is a registered trademark of Kraft Foods used with permission.
Diamonds Direct is celebrating the holiday season by extending our special 20% savings offer through this weekend. So, you have a few more days to take advantage of the best prices of the season. An extra 20% off store-wide. Start your holiday shopping now and save big. Everything is included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, and yes, thousands of engagement rings are now an extra 20% off. Our selection for the holidays has never been better, and that includes our breathtaking collection of loose diamonds, hand-picked exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Don't miss this special extension of our biggest and final store-wide sale of the year through this weekend only. Save an extra 20% on a multi-million-dollar inventory of fine jewelry. Ask about special financing, too. Diamonds Direct. Get all the details at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Furnish Hope right here in St. Louis. Donate your unneeded furniture and household goods to Home Sweet Home. Visit www.homesweethomestl.org to learn more.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin, Amy, and Chris now.
Best friends together.
Dave Glover at 2 on KMOX.
You know what I am, Amy?
Oh, that.
A great guy is what you
Okay,
were going to say.
yeah.
And because I'm such a good guy,
Mhm.
I've got things to give away. Actually, the show has a couple of things to give away. You ever been to Winter Warm-Up? Cardinals
I
Care
have.
Winter Warm-Up?
That is where Miles Michaelis and I had a great conversation about the Waffle House. He's a big fan.
Well, I like the Waffle House too. But here is what I like even better.
Okay.
The Winter Warm-Up. And what I'm going to do now, what we are going to do here on the show is give away 2 pairs.
Mhm.
So 2 pairs of 3-day passes to Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up, which is January 14th through the 16th. It's back, baby, and it's going to be great. And you can go to the Cardinals website and you can find out more about the Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up. But let's give away 2 pairs of passes for the entire 3 days, the entire weekend. Here's what you need to do. You need to be caller number 4 or caller number 5. Can't be both. To 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. We are looking for callers number 4 and 5. And each one of those callers will get a pair of 3-day passes to Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up.
That's a good giveaway.
It is.
That's pretty cool. The winter warm-up is awesome. And the Cardinal players are there, and it's just a great way to get ready for the upcoming season and get you out of the doldrums.
Yeah. And when you call and if you win, you are required to say to Tyler, who is back there answering the phone, thanks for giving me these passes.
Okay. The
You have to.
disclaimer is you do not have to say that.
Yes, you do.
That's the
you
disclaimer.
have to. If you don't do it, Tyler takes them away from you.
Charlie would always throw these caveats like you have to sing or whatever. And then our boss, Steve, would be like, you can't do that.
Oh, why? Is there a
Yeah,
a
there's
rule?
like a rule. You can't make people do something, apparently. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, because Charlie'd be like, you have to sing. Sing the song or you don't get the tickets.
Okay, then you don't have to say thanks for giving me the tickets the day before Thanksgiving.
But you know what? It would be nice to say thank you.
Yeah, well, I would hope that most people who talk to Tyler, I would hope. I don't know.
I don't know. There's no telling.
We'll ask him. This text message from a 636,
Mhm.
stuffing and turkey. Even if there is no turkey, there better be some stuffing.
Yeah. Well, we said no, you can't say turkey in the answer.
That's true. Asparagus and Brussels sprouts. That's weird because we have a couple of Brussels sprout texters.
Are they anti-Brussels sprout or
Well,
pro-Brussels sprout?
I don't know about the first one, but the second one is very anti. Says they were scarred
Mhm.
from childhood
Mhm.
of having to sit at the table and eat them.
You know what scars
love 'em.
kids? You know what scars kids with Brussels sprouts is steaming them. You're supposed to roast Brussels sprouts
Yeah, you gotta roast
with
them.
olive oil and some sea salt.
Yeah.
When you steam them and it stinks up the kitchen and they become rubbery, that's what causes Brussels sprout trauma.
And they have no flavor.
They have no flavor.
No. What are your weekend plans going to be? Well, I know that tonight you've got.
Guns and hoses. I
Yep.
will be handing out to the fighters the anniversary medals because it is the 35th year of Guns and Hoses, sold out Enterprise Center, which is so exciting. And you can watch Guns and Hoses on Fox 2. Tom Ackerman, Chris Pronger, Jesse Finney, along with Joe Buck will all be involved in the broadcast. You can watch that on Fox 2 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. They also will have a fundraiser or telethon. So you want to call in and donate because last year they raised $1 million. This year they are trying to raise $1,001,001.
$1 million. That's pretty good.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And this has been going on since 1987. Just a long time for this event.
Yeah.
And it's been very, very successful.
Raise money for backstoppers that helps fallen first responders. And then tomorrow's going to be a full day. I have Thanksgiving breakfast brunch with some old friends. I have another friend's house we're stopping by, and then there's a giant soccer game. Some good family friends, their whole extended family, and they've got lots of kids and cousins, and everybody plays soccer at a local school. So we'll swing by that field and then head to my parents' house
Tonight?
So, pretty full day.
Tonight, I've got friends who are in a boy band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're a boy band
What's
cover
the
band.
name of the boy band?
They are called Boy Band Night. The Boy Band Night. That's
Oh.
what they're called. They're in town. They're playing tonight. I think I'm going to go see them.
You know what's interesting?
NSYNC, Backstreet.
And where are they playing?
They are playing at Ballpark Village.
Oh, fun.
So I'm going to go over there and see
So
them.
that will be a lot of fun. And it's cool that your friends are in a boy band called Boy Band, and you're on a show called The Show.
Yeah, we didn't really think too hard about any of this stuff.
No.
We need to thank all of our guests to the Quiver River guest line. Bill McDermott, Steve Holly, Dr. Linda Settles, Todd Schneider, Brandon Bosley all joined us today. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on the show. We had a good time today, didn't we?
An excellent time.
Hey, Amy, have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Ron.
Be
You
safe.
too.
Don't do anything silly.
Okay.
Have fun at Guns and Hoses tonight.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on Monday.
Monday.
When the new show starts.
That's
It's
right.
called the show. Yeah. Dave Glover's next on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Bertie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
This is Debbie Monterey with a real estate update and some insight from my friend and